dudes.
Represents a clear and present danger to the national security of the United States.
You have no idea what men are.
Cool, welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of Clear and Present Dudes, the podcast that demands to be described as robust and healthy. I am Mike Zambar, and I am joined by Rory O'Toole.
Hello.
And Sanye Bjorkson.
Hello.
And this week we are finally returning to the well of Jack Ryan and discussing the sum of all fears. Before we do that, as always, I've got to say, real podcasts have a separate section for this that they pre-record, but we're not that guy. So please comment on Spotify, like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube, subscribe to the Substack, like and review, and rate on Apple. Any of all of these would be appreciated. Before we continue though, some shout outs. I'd like to give thanks to Captain Meridian, Eric Fisher, and of course Jim Murray for doing just those things, and that's probably been quite helpful to the algorithm, so thank you very much. Cool, so this week we are talking about The Sum of All Fears, a 2002 American spy thriller film directed by Phil Alden Robinson based on Tom Clancy's 1991 novel of the same name. The film, which is set in the Jack Ryan film series, is weirdly a reboot, taking place in 2002, so Jack Ryan is portrayed as a younger character, and is portrayed by Ben Affleck in comparison with the previous films, The Hunt for Red October, which we already covered, starring Alec Baldwin, and then the shining golden example in the middle, which we haven't touched yet, out of fear and trepidation, the Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, starring our man Harrison Ford. In this film, a Austrian neo-Nazi, played by Alan Bates, attempts to trigger a nuclear war between the United States and Russia by setting off a nuclear device in Baltimore, simultaneously with a rogue Russian officer launching an attack on an American aircraft carrier. It is designed to establish a European fascist superstate. A weird movie, a lot of a mouthful there. Initial impressions, guys, what did you think?
Yeah, it's a weird movie. I need to say as well, obviously, this is a spoiler cast. We let the cat out of the bag consistently with these films. If you've not seen the film, we'll still be here in 2 hours. Go find it. It's on some of the streamers. It's on YouTube as well to rent. I think it might be on Netflix too, and it's probably available for like £1 on DVD at your local CEX. So yeah, what a film.
At the time of recording, it has just appeared on UK Netflix, but I bought it about a year ago, so
right,
I'm a little bit annoyed to see it pop up this week.
What a film. What a really interesting film. Comes at a very interesting time in American history when, like, you look at the global war on terror that was beginning to ramp up when the film was released. The incidents that happened while the film was in production. Spoiler alert, 9/11. The tone of the film, it's very much like it's a film about cooler heads prevailing, and there's been a dearth of films about cooler American and Russian heads prevailing since then, because everything very quickly sharpened up to let's go and kick some doors in and bust some heads and not listen to nerds like this Jack Ryan guy, and don't let him get on and start sending text messages to people like that. You know, got to take his PDA away from him. You know, it's a great film. Loved it.
Yeah, Sanya, what were your thoughts?
My biggest two thoughts were, so that's where that blast sequence that I keep seeing on YouTube Shorts comes from, and man, I can't believe they really went there for a Jack Ryan movie. Because how often do you casually have someone just nuking a place in a movie that isn't like the Terminator series?
That's literally what I was going to say. It's like the Terminator is the other one where you see a nuke on mainland American soil, isn't it? Terminator 2.
It's like the only time you see a nuke in a film go off without an actual Armageddon scenario where the entire world just ends, which is odd to see.
It's a weird movie. I think every decade, like 80s into 90s, 90s into noughties, noughties into 10s, there's like a couple of years where the culture kind of goes through a bit of a change and it catches up. And I think this is 2002 that it came out. This is still, in my mind, kind of like the death throes of like a 90s movie. This doesn't feel like a noughties film. This feels like a 90s movie through and through. Partly because the book it's based upon is from the 90s, early 90s. But but just the vibe of it as well. Just, very big, over the top villains. It doesn't feel like. So I say that the context I'm trying to give to it is Ben Affleck's very good friend Matt Damon was like blow this potential franchise, because this is a reboot. They're trying to start a franchise.
Yeah.
We blew it out the water with Jason Bourne, which again is like based on older novels, but it was just so fresh in the way it was presented and so new. Shaky cam, improvised Krav Maga, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's my overriding opinion of this film. So I was watching it going, this is a 90s movie that came out in the noughties.
Oh, yes, and of course I have to say this, but could they maybe find actual Germans to do Germans like that bit?
You're complaining that the Nazis weren't authentic enough for you.
Yes.
You wanted a better quality Nazi.
Yes. This was the most American Nazi I have ever heard. It ruined the immersion a little bit. I was like,
Took you right out of it.
Is this German? This is German. No, that is not. What is he doing? And that was a bit weird.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, the casting is one thing, but so the production history of this movie. So part of the reason why it feels so 90s is they tried to develop it in the 90s. So off the back of the success of Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, did want to keep making more Harrison Ford, Jack Ryan movies. And they picked this novel. In this novel, Jack Ryan is like deputy director of Central Intelligence. He's really senior. He's obviously come up through the ranks off the back of what's happened in Patriot, Clear and Present Danger and so on. But they couldn't get Harrison Ford because he was too busy. He was doing like The Fugitives, Sabrina, The Devil's Own, and then Air Force One, 6 Days, 7 Nights. So like his 90s dance card was completely full. So that kind of shelved the project for a bit. And then weirdly, it's Ben Affleck himself who approached Paramount offering to play the role based off his recent success as an Oscar-winning screenwriter with Matt Damon for Good Will Hunting. And then he'd been in a bunch of Kevin Smith movies. And then Pearl Harbor. And then you see him with this. And yeah, he's just like so young. But this is why Tom Clancy kind of said, this is, I'm the guy who wrote the book that this film completely ignored. And like got big mad and did that. If you guys listen to the commentary track for this movie.
I have not, no.
Okay, there's a Tom Clancy commentary track for this film.
They got Tommy C on the mumble track. Oh my God.
And he is big mad. Like he is just going off. It's iconic. If you go on IMDb on the quotes, I think there's like a couple of quotes from the commentary track in the IMDb quotes list because it's so good. Like that never happens. Yeah, so big mad. Ben Affleck, of course, came off Armageddon as well before this. So he was like a viable young leading man now, and he wanted to make a franchise. And I think they offered him like 10 million for this movie. So he was like all the way to the bank. But not to be.
It's mad because like Pearl Harbor feels like a less 1990s film than this, even though it came out earlier, more on the cusp of the millennium, because it came out 2001, did it?
Yeah.
And yet it feels like it came out later. I mean, it's been a long time since I watched it, but when like you know.
Do you know what that is? Michael Bay, man.
Michael Bay,
who made some of the most 90s movie ever, but he just like, his style just like, it's like Tony Scott, just pervades through.
Yeah, that's actually a very fair point.
He's very, very nimble, just doing the little tweaks that he has to do to remain current. There's that big phase that Michael Bay went through when he went teal and orange for a bit.
Yeah.
When he was doing Transformers to fit in with the zeitgeist. And then recently I watched Ambulance, and Jesus Christ, man, incredible. Michael Bay. I mean,
moves with the times.
I do not want to cover Pearl Harbor for this podcast necessarily. But I could do
I think it's the one film that would make us all equally angry. That fucking scene when someone shoots down a Japanese fighter plane with a shotgun.
Yeah, man.
My favorite scene is when you see current day frigates behind them. And that is a Knox class frigate. What are you?
They had Harry Turtledove as a script guy on it.
Yeah, it was like clearly they mixed up the attack on Pearl Harbor with the Philadelphia experiment.
What they did was, they pulled in like alternative history maven, Harry Turtledove, just a writer, and he's like, Knox class frigates in 1941. Yes, that actually happened because it's time traveling Americans going back in time to help the non-time traveling Americans. God bless Harry Turtledove, absolute machine of a guy.
Wow. Speaking of weird things, Another thing I want to bring up before we get into like the plot blow by blow was the differences between the book and the movie. So again, this movie was in development for a long time, and one of the big misapprehensions people have about the movie is that because it was produced during the gap, well, it started production and it was released, and in the middle of that happened 9/11, right? So a lot of people think that they did like reshoots, so they rewrote stuff and they changed stuff because of 9/11. It's not the case. The film was wrapped. It filmed it and wrapped it by June 2001. So they didn't change anything necessarily. They just kind of maybe delayed it a little bit. But all the major changes to the plot are all already in there. So the book itself this is classic, like Tom Clancy. Hang on, like here's Patriot Games, right? Patriot, like that isn't Sean Bean.
Yeah.
And like one Libyan terrorist camp. Like I haven't read it yet, but I bet there's shit tons of extra stuff in there. And this is no different. So like the Sum of All Fears has got this mad plot where Deputy Director of Central Intelligence Jack Ryan is trying to head up essentially like a 1990s version of the Board of Peace to create like Jerusalem as its own free city-state, like the Vatican, presided over by like a group of like a panel of different religious leaders across various different religious denominations. So he wants to create a theocracy in Jerusalem, right? And then it's going to be protected by like a detachment of the Swiss Guard. Like that's a whole thing in this book. That's crazy. There's a whole other subplot. I'm going to bring up, but there's a whole subplot between like a woman who is trying to become like a senior advisor to the president, starts having an affair with the president in this film, who's played by James Cromwell, President Fowler, and then she like gets her job by getting another guy bent off of his job by creating a scandal that he had like a child out of wedlock. She tries the same thing on Jack Ryan, and then like Jack Ryan sends like Ding Chavez and John Clark, like his two best wet work operators, to go and convince his wife that he's loyal still. Like, got a super secret mission for you. Like, bring your silencers, bring your NVGs. I need to go and talk to my wife. There's a whole thing.
Being the fucking fly on the wall and just
You're not talking to anyone.
Christ.
Methinks the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence doth protest too much. And then it is like a disenfranchised Palestinian Muslim who goes rogue, and then teams up with like an East German fella to get this nuke to like America to make a point. And that's as close as this movie like cues to the plot, is that there is a nuke and it isn't like disputed territory between Israel and Palestine.
God.
Yeah, but so yeah, my main point was it's not like Lilo and Stitch where like they had to like redraw that end sequence because it's not a plane crashing, it's a spaceship crashing. Now this was already the same, and they kind of left it the same, which is kind of cool that they did it. They went through with it.
Yeah. It's actually
pretty
pretty
weird.
ballsy, to be honest, that they did kind of like push through it. And there is this dramatic shift in the middle of the film around that time, around the point when the nuke goes off and just turns Baltimore, Maryland into Bodymore, Murderland. And it's something I'll get in later, but probably after that scene, the film seems to be shot a totally different way, picks up a totally different vibe. And that's one thing that makes this film really special, is that this film does that kind of show, really, like the kind of major epoch change that 9/11 brought on, because to beat the shit out of a dead horse, 9/11 changed everything, you know? I mean, as that one particular line fucking Family Guy said. But it's like, so the film, after the nuke goes off, for a start, getting ahead of ourselves, like the way it's shot immediately afterwards is redolent of the kind of film footage from around that time. Like media footage around that time. You see a lot more of like a shaky cam, handy cam kind of stuff you mentioned that would then be popularised in like the Bourne films. Not full on crazy shaky cam, but there's more of it. The cinematography, the film goes from having a lot of like wide open vistas and stuff, and like a lot of like big like location shots, to like a lot of tight close-ups of people in rooms being sweaty, being freaked out. And it's immediately 9/11. We're all fucking sweaty and freaked out, you know?
You know what? That's a really astute observation, and this is probably a good opportunity to talk about the director. So Phil Alden Robinson directed this. Before this, Sneakers, which is a really good film that we probably should cover at some point with Robert Redford. But on top of that, which I think is closer to your point, is, and I watched it last night, the first episode of Band of Brothers is also one of his directorial credits. Now, obviously, in a mini series like that, the producers, so Spielberg and Hanks, who also directed an episode, have a much bigger say on creating the visual language for it, because it's got to remain consistent throughout the whole thing, right? Nevertheless, Phil Alden Robinson's first episode, Currahee, has got like a few visual signifiers that I think aren't really repeated again elsewhere in the show's run. So the first thing, this is repeated. The first thing you see is like there's a lot more of that shaky cam, right? Band of Brothers is not dated in the way this film is dated because of that. It's something timeless about it. It looks like archival footage from the period.
Yeah.
Which is really good because it gets you like up close into the action. So there's a sequence, for example, where they're in Alderbourne, down south in the UK, where they're doing like their final sort of preparations for D-Day training. So they're doing like sort of a collective training. So they're doing like maneuvers and stuff like that. And one of the bits they do is they do all the like close combat bayonet training and stuff. And clearly they've put like the actual actors through like a couple of weeks of this stuff as well before they did it. And it kind of comes across in the filming. I swear to God, I'm coming back to your point, because like what it gives you though is it gives you like that kind of gritty, like you're in the face of it, kind of like this is what it was like at the time. These guys are like really preparing to go to war, and then finally, you see it just before they are about to depart for the actual on the the Day of Days. They're about to go and attack Fortress Europa. They're reading the speech, and then we get a sequence where all the individual paratroopers look dead-eye into the camera, like break the fourth wall. It's the only time it happens in the show. They all break the fourth wall, look into the camera, and you just see these guys, and like the artifice of like we're watching a war show just like goes, and it's just like we're looking into the guy, and it's down to like how good the actors are. And it's another great thing about Band of Brothers is that, and you'll see if you watch it again recently, is like it's full. It is the most that guy show. It's full of people who are now like A-list actors, and because they've picked like really good talented actors to do these really small roles. And you get that, and then the other thing you get after that is the sequence of like Dick Winters like helping every individual paratrooper up and get him into the plane. Great. Anyway, back to the movie. Like it's that appreciation of like that visual and that language that I think he really brings to it by, as you say, in the second half of the movie, getting up close and personal with people. Again, he's hamstrung by the production's kind of probably need for it to be like a glossy, big budget blockbuster. This is like released in May, so early summer blockbuster kind of thing they were going for, reboot of franchise. They weren't trying to do something as gritty as this, but they were doing something shocking. So yeah, cool. Very cool. The final thing I want to bring up before we get into the movie properly, this movie has a video game adaptation. Yep. And it's not terrible. It's not like the Hunt for Red October one, which was like awful. This game, The Sum of All Fears, to spoil the movie, takes place entirely in like the final montage of the movie, which is really strange. So basically what it is Red Storm Entertainment, who had made Rainbow Six, and by this point Rainbow Six Rogue Spear as well, and I think they'd made the first Ghost Recon game as well, I think, had this engine, had this tactical squad shooter game genre which they kind of pioneered, and they basically went, we'll make one of those and we'll call it The Sum of All Fears, basically. And they kind of watered it down a little bit, so you lost like the deep planning aspects of it. The tactical squad controls were much reduced, and your squad size was reduced from like, I think, a maximum of 6 down to like 3. Where all you can do is kind of tell your squad mates like, follow, hold.
Which also at this point tell any young bloods who are listening that when we say Rainbow Six, we mean the original one from 1999. We don't mean the kind of
Siege, the
Rainbow Six Siege kind of stuff, like more like recent kind of stuff that looks like a totally fucking different game. The original Rainbow Six, first person shooter with really quite in depth, as you said, like planning phases. They gave me a lifelong love of CQB. It wasn't the heavy metals in the water or the autism or anything. It was definitely Rainbow Six in 1999 that made me love CQB.
One of the first games, I think. Don't quote me on this. I'm not saying it is the first game, but one of the first very popular games, at least, to have localized limb damage in a first-person shooter. So you could cripple limbs. And then the other big thing, I think, for me was your damage as the protagonist, as the player, incredibly nerfed. Like real life. Like you can't take 20 shotgun blasts and then pick up a health pack. Like you get shot on the head, you're dead. You get shot on the chest, you are gonna die. If you get shot
Yeah.
twice, you are dead, which is very, very, very cool at the time. Well, I mean, annoying at the time as a kid, but like very, very cool now in retrospect. Just like pioneered so much cool stuff. That
It really did. It had great like level design as well, and it was like so much fun. Like at the start of the game, like having a little kind of blueprint map of like the building you were going to storm and like lay out your route to approach and stuff. It's like, oh, this is the stuff. This like,
awesome. So this game takes place, like I said, in like that final montage in the movie, which we'll talk about in a bit. But
yeah,
but basically, you are not in the movie at all. You are like a separate team.
yeah,
The main events of the film have already passed. You are
Yeah.
here cleaning up basically the remaining people who have done bad stuff in the movie with your squad, and you're getting like mission briefs from John Clark, not voiced by Lee Schreiber, and Jack Ryan is not mentioned because why would he be? Bill Cabot's not mentioned, who died anyway. Sad face. Spoilers. Kathy Mueller not mentioned. No one else in the movie is mentioned. You are literally getting jobbed off to do stuff. And that first mission, I think, takes place in like a TV station that's been taken over by like some like white neo-Nazi terrorists in like
Yeah.
Colorado or something. Like it's so
Yeah.
divorced from what's going on in the movie.
yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really interesting. It's worth talking about. It's a pretty interesting artifact. It's also the first game that's been made from one of the movies we've covered that's still probably pretty playable.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, cool. The final thing, the actual final thing I want to talk about before we get into the movie was John Clark. Lee Schreiber plays John Clark in this movie. There are 3 John Clarks, kind of, which you'll probably bring up in a second, out there in the wild. The main one that most people will know from Clear and Present Danger is Willem Dafoe. He's obviously a bit big and broad and appears to be like a super like past it kind of veteran, just like he's got CIA kind of written all over him. This guy is probably hews closer to, I think, the source material in the sense that he's like this kind of closed up, button up kind of wet work operator who's a bit like, I don't know, he's very, very intense in a way that like Willem Dafoe isn't. Willem Dafoe's kind of a bit loose and wild. In the story of what could have been The Garden of Many Forked Paths, they were talking about, after the success of this film, making a Lee Schreiber, John Clark franchise, where they were going to make potential movies of Rainbow Six and of Red Rabbit, with Lee Schreiber reprising his role as John Clark. And then they started early production on Without Remorse, which is another John Clark novel, but it got stalled for a very long time. Lee Schreiber went off and did a bunch of different projects, including like Salt, and then he was in Ray Donovan for a very long time and did like 82 episodes of that, and had a completely different career. And it never happened, it never came to pass. And then eventually in 2021, they finally released Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan, written by Taylor Sheridan, which I thought was worth mentioning. So, obviously based on a novel by Tom Clancy, written by Taylor Sheridan, who most people will know now for like his shit ton of Paramount TV shows like The Landman and Yellowstone and Tulsa Kings and stuff like that. But also, he wrote the movie we're going to cover next week, which is Sicario.
Yeah.
So, interesting. But your factoid about Without Remorse, please.
Yes, my factoid is that in the film, the Michael B. Jordan film, he's actually called John Kelly in it. But in Without Remorse, the novel, it does begin with, like introduces Clark as being called John Kelly. He changes his name later on in his career, which I thought was actually pretty cool. Obviously, it's like a totally different kind of chronology for it, because Without Remorse is a Vietnam War novel, with a very young, obviously, John Kelly before he becomes John Clark. I totally agree with you that like Lee Schreiber plays like a much more kind of buttoned down, kind of restrained kind of John Clark, like you see in the later novels. I mean, John Clark's full on fucking psycho in Without Remorse, and he clearly works all the psycho shit out before he then becomes like the buttoned down, very measured kind of killer that he is in like the later books and stuff.
Brutal, isn't he?
Yeah. I haven't seen the Michael B. Jordan film. I'll probably watch it at some point. I was actually explaining to Emma just about how many like Jacks Ryan and how many like Johns Clark there've been, and she was like, "What the fuck? I'm sick of this. There's so many Jack Ryans." It's like you haven't even got the bit where I tell you about how Jack Ryan becomes president by accident at the end of Debt of Honor, and man, she was angry.
I think it's worth saying that obviously on this podcast we talk about it all the time, But I don't think like Jack Ryan is that well known. I mean, the TV show has probably helped, but before the TV show, I don't. And obviously they put his name in that Shadow Recruit movie, like Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. But before that, so at this point in time in 2002, like I don't think Jack Ryan necessarily was the franchise. It was Tom Clancy. People heard of Tom Clancy because he was, this book debuted at #1 on the bestsellers list.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So people knew who Tom Clancy was. I don't think people were like, oh, Jack Ryan, that character that Harrison Ford plays. Or, I'm sure there are fans and stuff, but I don't think it had the same cultural kind of presence.
Yeah.
And it has got a massive cultural presence now. People know there's a Jack Ryan TV show. I don't think if you ask the average person on the street, oh, did you know that the character that John Krasinski's playing in that TV show is the same character that Harrison Ford was in those movies, and Ben Affleck was in that movie, and Alec Baldwin was in that movie. I don't think that's there,
Yeah.
And now, weirdly, I think Tom Clancy, the name, is kind of bigger in the gaming world because of like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yeah, Tom Clancy's End War and all that stuff.
Tom Clancy's like Ghost Recon, And then, whereas you don't have, and then I suppose the other one is like all that weird kind of like, so we died in 2013. Since then, there's been like, I don't know how many ghost written novels in like Tom Clancy's Op Center, Tom Clancy's Net Force.
Jack Ryan's had about 5 terms as president now, I think.
Jack Ryan Jr. as well.
Yeah.
He's got his...
Another thing that made my wife really pissed off when I said, like, President Jack Ryan's like a 5-term tyrant by this point. Just like, what the fuck? Yeah. I skipped some of All Fears, mainly because kind of at that point in my novel reading, I was kind of piggybacking off stuff my dad had. So I was like very much in the dad zone, which is a vibe that I've still carried on to this day in my taste in films, obviously, and books and stuff. And so there wasn't a copy of The Sum of All Fears in the house. There was a copy of Peter Games, there's a copy of Over the Kremlin, stuff like that. But I've seen a lot of discourse about how Sum of All Fears is not a good book in the Jack Ryan series. I've heard it comes in for some serious dinging from people.
It's extremely dense. So some of the other weird stuff that's in the book that isn't in the movie. So off the back of The Hunt for Red October, the US Navy now has a submarine based on the same pulse drive technology, the Caterpillar drive, and that gets makes a reappearance and gets involved. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So obviously we've talked a bit about like America and Russia getting like whipped up to a frenzy. There's also at the same time John Clark is in Mexico City, and these terrorists are like trying to implicate the Ayatollah on the attack on Baltimore as well. There's Jesus Christ, what else is on here? So yeah, there's a smaller group, the Popular Front of the Liberation of Palestine terrorists, also involved. Basically, it's a big it's like a season finale. Like everybody's there. Like it's just like everyone who's ever been on a Jack Ryan novel at some point has popped up in this one to kind of like, because it's the sum, you see, of all fears.
Of all fears.
so it's like
it's also a spider and a shark.
Yeah.
It sounded a bit like it was devolving into that Monty Python sketch from Life of Brian. It's like the Popular Front is also there. Like which front?
The Palestinian Liberation Front and
like,
the Liberation Front of Palestine.
Yeah, it's like, and who's that guy? We don't talk to them.
The Judean People's Front and all. Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely wild. I'm gonna read you a section from the Wikipedia article about the book about the woman who's trying to start the affair thing. So, White House Foreign Affairs Advisor Elizabeth Elliott holds a grudge against Ryan and a guy called Alden, who is a National Security Advisor, Dr. Charles Alden, and maneuvers against them. She first takes Alden's job as National Security Advisor by taking advantage of a sex scandal involving a child fathered by Alden out of wedlock, with the stress contributing to Alden's death and a severe stroke, which causes a blowout fracture. She then concurrently begins a sexual relationship with the widowed President J. Robert Fowler, JRF, and manipulates him to publicly omit Ryan's role in the peace settlement. That's the massive Jerusalem thing, taking credit for himself. After Ryan accuses her of wishing to silence an American opponent of the deal, Elliot engineers a smear campaign accusing Ryan of engaging in an extramarital affair and fathering a child with a young widow. Jack's friends, CIA operatives John Clark and Domingo Chavez, convince Ryan's wife, Kathy, that the allegations are false. I want to read that scene. Jack's alleged mistress is Carol Zimmer, widow of Buck Zimmer, who was killed during Ryan and Clark's earlier mission to rescue Chavez and his army teammates from Colombia. That's the events of Clear and Present Danger. Ryan later decides to retire from the CIA, but not before he puts together a covert operation to uncover corrupt dealings between Japanese and Mexican government officials. Like, this is all over the place.
That's mad.
Like
You know what
this
this
is like.
means, though?
I
You know what
I
this
reckon
means,
if you'd went to Stanley Kubrick with this book
Yeah.
in the 1970s and said, make a movie of this, he would have said exactly the same thing he said when he received a copy of The Lord of the Rings. No, I can't do it. It can't be done. And yet, Phil Alden Robinson, and my God, has done it with the efforts of screenwriter Paul Atanasio and Daniel Pine. I need to find out what he's done before, because he's done some magic here.
I will tell you one thing, though, with the salacious kind of content that you've talked about and the sex scandals, this means this is going to be another Tom Clancy novel with Tom Clancy's weird way of writing sex scenes and probably weird dialogue. Do you think this might have its own version of that CIA officer being called by his Japanese girlfriend Master Sausage?
Yeah,
Sorry, Chinese girl.
I was going to say,
that. I knew you were going to come up with that again.
would it have a sausage in it?
Yeah, because Japanese and Mexican, so it's going to be like Japanese sausage, Mexican chorizo, like it's...
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
It's like she smiled at him and said, "Senor, I love your burrito."
Please superimpose an image of Gordon Ramsay saying sausage onto the video here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Please.
Oh my God. Yeah,
That's going to be bad. I think, you know what? I think we should have like fucking some of Wolfia's book club. Like in the last season when we had Barrett the Dragon book club, we'll have some of Wolfia's book club and see how fucked it gets.
Welcome to the CIA, sport.
At a time of increasing tension,
According to this, there are 17 senior scientists on duty today. I only count 14.
deliberate deception,
3 Russian scientists are missing. I need to know where they are.
I don't go on the missions. I just write reports.
So write a report about it.
I'm an analyst.
I'm not trained for this.
Just be my eyes and ears.
I can't be with somebody who's going to keep their life hidden from me, Jack.
I will not let that happen.
and new enemies.
You don't fight Russia and America. You get Russia and America to fight each other and destroy each other.
Only 2 men suspect the truth.
What's a South African doing in the Ukraine? With 3 Russian scientists and a crate from Israel.
Fair guess they're building a bomb.
From the electrifying bestseller by Tom Clancy
The crate was put on a cargo freighter headed for the East Coast.
What?
and the producer of Clear and Present Danger and Patriot Games.
Ryan, the bomb is in play!
Ben Affleck,
Where's the president now?
They're taking him airborne. They think it might be the Russians.
It wasn't the Russians.
Morgan Freeman,
It adds up. You just don't like what it adds up to.
If you strike against the Russians, you sacrifice your moral authority.
We have reason to believe the bomb was the work of terrorists, not the Russians.
Mr. President, they're scrambling their fighters.
My orders are to get the right information to the people who make the decision.
Put it in your report.
And if you shut me out, your family and 25 million other families will be dead.
The Sum of All Fears. Directed by Phil Alden Robinson.
The year is 1973. During the Yom Kippur War, an Israeli warplane carrying a nuclear bomb crashes. First of all, I don't want to keep doing this, but why is it carrying a nuclear bomb? Like, it's disputed territory. Was it Egypt? Were they going to nuke Egypt?
I think. I mean, it's such a strange Clancy-ish idea that the Israelis put up a doomsday plane that's a Boar Skyhawk, just a scooter tooling around, unescorted on its own, with an atom bomb hanging underneath it, and it's like weird.
It gets shot down.
Weird.
And it gets shot down because I think the pilot was distracted by looking at a picture of his family.
Yeah.
It's like, get your head out your ass, man.
Yeah.
you're in a warplane here.
He appears to hit a little bit of turbulence, doesn't he? And like, as like family's photo
You're
kind
Randy
of like
Quaid.
falls off. Yeah. And he's like, oh, gonna pick that up, and then for whatever reason, like his plane doesn't have like a radar warning indicator or anything, and he's got like an old school fucking SA2 or whatever it is just fucking homing in on him, and it's like, bye, dickhead.
Yeah.
And what do you know? You got a rogue atom bomb, baby. A broken arrow.
It gets buried by the shifting sands.
And nobody ever goes looking for it.
Yeah, they've lost that, and no one thinks, you know what, let's go and find that.
I find it hard to believe that Israel would not look for like their one borrowed nuke.
Yeah.
I mean,
it costs 50 shekels, man.
Because, like, I mean, you would have them being like, well, we're not like technically avowedly nuclear nation, right? Like, no, we haven't got nukes. Don't look at the stockpile under those newspapers. But on the other hand, they certainly wouldn't want the possibility of a nuke hanging out in, you know, what could be potentially enemy territory to them. Like, there would have been some kind of a hunt for it, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have at least put some legwork into looking for it.
Yeah,
but
right.
It's Tom Clancy, and a lot of the stuff that he puts into his books for them to work kind of doesn't fully need to make sense for the Tom Clancy book to commence, I think, so he doesn't put too much thought into it.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened here. So 30 years pass, and then Ghazi, a Syrian scrap collector, recovers the bomb from a field in the Golan Heights and sells it to a South African black market arms trafficker called Derek Olsen, played by Colm Theo, I think, who resells it to a neo-Nazi group led by an Austrian billionaire called Richard Dressler, who is our big bad in the movie. So your man, the South African black market arms trafficker Derek Olsen, kind of tricks the guy and buys it off him. He says it's a dud and says it's useless, but he'll buy it off him for 400 quid and then sells it for like hundreds of thousands straight away.
Yeah.
That's a bullshit move, isn't it? The poor guy. His son, who recovered the bomb, is obviously got like radiation poisoning and is dying.
Yeah.
So it's real bad. Cool. And then we get Richard Dressler, who's this Australian billionaire. It's always billionaires, isn't it? Fuck him. Giving some speech at some sort of seminar, symposium about the world order and how it needs to fundamentally change and stuff. And then we get a shot where it lingers, it zooms in on his watch, which he's taken off and left on the lectern, and it zooms in, and we see the back of the watch, and there is an engraved swastika, so we knew he's a wrong'un. Real bad stuff. And then I guess we cut away from that pretty early, and then we meet Jack Ryan, right?
I just want to jump in with something before we meet Jack Ryan, though.
Yeah.
This film's kind of ahead of its time in, like, kind of going after the billionaires kind of thing, in a way.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it.
A cabal of billionaires who secretly want to run the world. Yeah.
Topical.
Like that would ever happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Pay no attention to that island.
Yeah, like a bunch of billionaires would ever enable the rise of the far right.
Exactly.
That was ever going to happen.
It's weird, isn't it? People accuse them of changing this movie at the time to make it less, like, thorny because of, like, 9/11, but actually...
And they just kind of pulled out the magic fucking pen and predicted the future. But it's like...
And coincidentally, it just has that one country pop up in it.
But it's like, yeah, fucking, this really does, like, show cabals of rich technocrats as being an existential threat to the world. And this kind of gets largely overpowered by, like, the cabals of, like, people from the sandy regions of the planet being the big existential threat for quite a few years in filmland after this, you know? We're just, like, circling back now to get the guillotines out for everybody who's a billionaire, you know, kind of thing. But this film was a bit ahead of its time in the fact that the people involved in it are, as villains, are racist, without a doubt, authoritarian, authoritative, powerful, and very rich. And I think that's just interesting. I think it's an interesting combination, and it's something that wasn't really a huge thing in film at the time. You'd get like villains in thrillers who were like billionaires and stuff like that, but it was always, I'm a billionaire and I'm gonna kill half the planet for my twisted means because I need more money or some shit like that. But it's never like, I'm a billionaire and I'm gonna destroy America and Russia in a nuclear war that's totally gonna kill the rest of the world, right? Just because I fucking hate black people, you know?
It's... Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, it is in a way, but it also isn't. like going on a limb here, but evil German guy really isn't a very, very new concept for films.
It's pretty safe.
And and like half of the Bond franchise has like a very evil guy with a German accent doing shit, trying to control the world.
Yeah.
So
also,
it's not really that rare. It's just that connects the evil sand people trope with it.
Yeah. I think if you remember, like at this time, the most popular video game genre for like 2002, probably until 2012, was like World War II shooter, color shade brown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of like Russians and Germans were the two big bad guys, which is kind of like falls in with this. But really important point you made about the billionaires. I think what this film, where it stumbles, is it's a little bit naive in that Dressler doesn't have any fingers in the pies of the American government.
Yeah.
That's clearly the bit that we are learning about now in real time.
Yeah.
Every 24 hours, something more heinous corruption between, be it our government or be it like the American government, with all that mental shit that's happening at the minute. I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but because that's just here to have a good time, man. But I think it's really naive that they clean house at the end, like that montage sequence that they made the video game of at the end, where they just, between Russia and the United States, go around and just sort it all out by killing them all. Like, like that's incredibly cathartic to watch, but isn't happening, is it? Let's be real.
I mean, in fairness, it is probably safe to assume that that network is pretty much larger than the 3 people we see getting killed off.
Yeah.
So we have no inclination or indication to know that like all the corrupt people from the Russian military command structure have actually been removed, etc.
Yeah. It's a very fair point, actually.
Those assassinations could just be seen as a very obvious gesture of political goodwill towards one another.
True, and taking out a few patsies.
That's it. It's like, we both kind of don't like them. And if we blow up these 3, we can just forget about everything. And would anyone like to invest in infrastructure in Baltimore by the chance?
Enron just rolling up and building an oil field where Baltimore used to be.
It's like a president dropping an AI slop video of like golden hotels in Baltimore.
Oh, Jesus Christ. After the bomb, it was Baltimore. We're going to make it Baltimore again.
If I was Baltimore, but it's going to be Balti beautiful now.
After that sort of introductory sequence, we see a very young, fresh-faced Jack Ryan, played by, my God, he looks like a baby, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I watched The Rip the other week, and just seeing the difference. Time comes for us all. He looks great still, because he's incredibly rich, but he just looks like a baby in this. Yeah, wonderful. And he's working on the Russia desk, so he's watching videos of the Russian president, I think it's called Zorkin, President Zorkin, played by Richard Marner from Allo Allo.
Yes.
So he's great. I know him from this, Allo Allo, and The Dirty Dozen, where he works like a little Kumskaboosh and the big fancy home at the very end of the movie. That's all I know him from. Anyway, he's tremendous. So he's there, and he's having a bit of banter with these guys in his office about like, you're thinking of Chalitsky, but you mean Chapitsky, and it's wrong. And it's just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I don't know, Russian stuff. We're meant to get the idea that they're really good at their jobs because they know who all the Russians are. Jack Ryan is doing that, and he's also having a very new and exciting relationship with a doctor from Baltimore Memorial Hospital, young Kathy Mueller, who would, of course, become Kathy Ryan, but she doesn't know that yet. And she is played by, what is her name again? I'll tell you who it is. It's John Wick's dead wife.
John Wick's dead wife.
It's John Wick's dead wife. Bridget Moynihan, yeah. And I say John Wick's dead wife because even though she's in John Wick for like all of 3 minutes, that's still on her top 4 credits on IMDb. Coyote Ugly as well as she was in, wasn't she, Bridget Moynihan? Anyway, so that's happening. They have an adorable little thing where she, and this is unhinged, like they're on their 3rd date, they're in bed at his place, and then she says, there's something I got to talk to you about. And he's like, what? And he's like, you're in love with me. And I get it.
I get it. Yeah.
That's such a ballsy move. Like, if that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And then their A pager goes off. She thinks it's hers because she has a real job at a hospital. And she believes that he is a historian through a think tank. So why would his pager be going off early on a Sunday morning? But it is his PJ.
Historical event just dropped.
Yeah.
Happens all the time to me.
Gonna happen soon. And then he is paged by director William Cabot Morgan Freeman to accompany him to come to a meeting about the sudden unexpected death of President Zorkin and his replacement by Kieran
Hines.
Kieran Hines, who plays President Nemerov, Kieran Hines. So and that posting of Kieran Hines as Nemerov was predicted by a young Jack Ryan, and that gets him a seat at the table in a very high-profile meeting with the president's cabinet. He is told by William Cabot very much to sit down and shut up, and if you're not spoken to, don't speak. And this is a classic like Jack Ryan thing. It's happened in all of them, I think. It definitely happened in Hunt for Red October. Yeah. He gets called into a super secret, like high level meeting that he's like fucking 10 pay grades too low to be in. And then, God damn it, he's such a Boy Scout. He has to say like, his bit of information. He just seems like a hardliner, but he's not really a hardliner. He's just saying hardline stuff to keep the hardline off his back. But actually, he's really progressive. And it makes enough of a stir that he gets brought along with Cabot to a Russian nuclear weapons facility to conduct a inspection of the de-arming process as part of the START Treaty. I will pause there for questions.
I like how, first of all, an incredibly cursed part of the film is when it's implied that Kathy grabs his dick while he's on the phone to Cabot. Like, I mean, she does, doesn't she? She grabs his junk while he's on the phone to Cabot from bed, and it's like, she's a pistol, this edition of Kathy.
That's how he knows that she's the one.
Yeah. Would didn't need that really cringe kind of close-up of Ben Affleck and Bridget Moynihan's feet together.
No. I was getting shades of the animal crackers scene from Armageddon.
Oh, jeez.
Like scenes that didn't need to be made and put into a movie.
Didn't need to exist.
Yeah. Do you remember this? The animal crackers scene from Armageddon?
No.
It's Ben Affleck and Liv Tyler. And Liv Tyler is playing the daughter of Harry Stamper, Bruce Willis, and they have a young budding relationship. And he's about to go to the asteroid that's flinging towards Earth to blow it up. But before he goes, the last night they have together, and he's got these little animal cracker cookies, and he's walking them along her bare midriff and doing like an Australian, for some reason, impression of
so fucking weird.
of David Attenborough. He's like the giraffe walks along the Serengeti, and it's like he's not Australian, but okay, and it's just really cringe.
Cringe. I liked how you also see the beginning of a trend of Bill Cabot just taking things off people to give them to Jack Ryan. He takes that lad. From there you go. And the guy's like, the fuck? And obviously we'll see this again later in the movie. So then he's like off the races to Russia, isn't he? And there's this great bit when he's meeting Nemerov, and a reference is made to how much pussy Nemerov got in college because Jack Ryan wrote about it in his like a thesis or something, or some report that he did.
That's
and
right.
One of and like Nemerov's henchman's like, oh well, actually, you know, he had a girlfriend from his second year of college, and Jack Ryan's like, yeah, but you were fucking crushing it in your first year. I paraphrase.
And you speak amazing Russian, and it's just like that bit in Hunt for October where he starts speaking Russian to prove them that he speaks Russian, and it's like, sorted. I like this guy.
Yeah, it's like we're friends kind of thing, and it's like,
in that case, I like him too. I love that.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Yeah, great. I love that. Just before that, is Cabot? Will Cabot? Absolutely annihilates Ryan because he has to cry off on his date with Kathy.
Yeah.
So he calls her from like the plane they're flying, and he's like, don't lie to her. Just tell her where you're going. Tell her who you work for.
Tell her you're in the CIA.
She'll think it's cool. Just tell her. Yeah. So he's like, all right, okay, well, I've been called up by the director to go to Russia to do a nuclear arms inspection. I'm in the CIA. And she's like, fuck off. And hangs up the phone.
It's like, what the fuck is this bullshit from this moid that I've been with for like 3 or 4 days?
3 days.
Now he says,
and then it's like...
he's giving me the fucking
days.
CIA.
This is it. So, like, you got to remember, this is like a hangover from the 90s. So, dates 1 and 2 chased, date 3 bag off, all right, and then to her mind, they've had their third date. He's hit it, and then now he's saying he's in the CIA and he's going to Russia. It's like, all this trick in the book.
Wild. It's like this is Jack Ryan, the hit it and quit it moid, isn't it? Really, he's like, he'd be getting the biggest call out post on Reddit if it was a thing at that point.
The old smash and nash.
Yeah, fucking, hey girlies, are we dating the same guy? Works for a think tank. Few nice dates. Now tells me he's off to do some nuclear de-escalation disarmament shit with the company. It's like, oh yeah, same guy, Ryan, yeah. Super Catholic, weird opinions about abortion. Yeah, that's the guy. Avoid.
Oh man. So yeah, they get to Russia. They meet Nemerov. There's a little bit in the nuclear facility where, like, Jack Ryan senses something's wrong, and he says, like, 3 of your guys aren't here today, and all that kind of stuff. And then he gets a real super quick answer from Michael Byrne, who was the kill in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Michael Byrne gives a really quick answer about where all the scientists are, and he gives them, like, the staff answer, like the official answer. And he seems like he's a bad guy. Is he called Gorkov, I want to say?
I believe so.
Keeping track of these Russian names is hard work. Michael Byrne plays, and Anatoly Grushkov, man, I was so close. Yeah.
Who's obviously kind of like shown as like meant to be a kind of hidden antagonist kind of guy, but as we all know, it's a spoiler cast. He turns out to be not such a hidden antagonist.
He turns out to be a very good guy called under the codename Spinnaker, which immediately makes me think of Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Yes, we have that. And then I'm going to pick it up from the old Wikipedia summary. Ryan notices the absence of 3 scientists listed on the facility's roster after receiving intelligence from Spinnaker, an informant inside the Kremlin, so it's actually the same guy, but we don't know yet. Cabot sends operative John Clark to investigate. And this is great because another hilarious thing in the film is that on the flight back, obviously your boy Jack Ryan is kicking off saying, like, Kathy won't return my calls. She's so pissed off at me. like I've ruined it. And he's like, look, tell you what, take her to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And he's like, oh yeah, let's take her to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like, how am I going to do that? He's like, I happen to have some tickets for you. Like, they're under the name John Clark. And then the plane lands. He's like, John Clark, I've got a job for you. Bye. Exquisite seal.
Yeah. It's like, hey John, how are you enjoying working at a desk? And John's standing there like the fucking pissing rain. Going through a CIA humiliation ritual, clearly. And he's like, how do I get desk job? Would you like to go off and do some other active stuff? And I'm going to ruin your chance to go to this nice event. And he's like, okay, job, innit? Life in a blue one.
Fine. Yeah. Life in a blue one. You can't take a joke, shouldn't have joined John Clark. And I love that it comes up later as well. Oh, man, so funny. We'll go back to that when it happens. So funny. Yeah. Absolutely. What I've learned so far is that there's a big difference between Admiral Greer, who seemed like a pretty swell guy, and director William Cabot is that Cabot is an absolute seeing off prick.
He's just this fucking like low-key agent of chaos. He's a goblin. He's a low-key chaos goblin. Like, Greer's this dignified guy. And Cabot's like, today I will cause problems on purpose. I love it. He's mid. He's
it's
great.
Such a serious job, Will. Stop fucking around with these guys' lives.
Yeah, that's like, come on, man.
Yeah. So we cut to the White House Correspondents' Dinner pretty much immediately. And it's awesome. Yeah, you get this awesome speech from, I say it's awesome. You get a funny speech from the president. So the president is called President Fowler. He's played by James Cromwell, who got nominated for an Oscar for Babe. So that'll do, pig. Iconic line delivery.
Yeah.
Also is like incredible as is it I forgot the name of the guy, is it Morgan or something, in LA Confidential. He's the bent police captain in LA Confidential. Brilliant. Rollo Tomasi, who's that? Anyway, wonderful. So yeah, he's doing a whole speech about like how he's like married into his family, that's got him loads of electoral votes, and then he smokes some weed. California, 54 electoral votes.
Yeah, like it is legitimately a really quite funny speech. He's got quite good comic timing and his delivery's really good.
It's really interesting because so what we've seen so far of the president is we see him do the drill, like the nuclear football drill.
Yes, we've missed that bit out. Shit.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because it's all coming up because they actually do it for real, don't they, Nelly? So we'll talk about it then. Sorry, where's Sirens? Is that yours? Is that your end, Sanya?
I have no fucking idea what's happening in this city again.
Panic on the streets of Hamburg. Yeah.
Panic on the streets of East Hartford. I wonder to myself.
Oh wow. Yeah, so we get all that. So they did that big drill at the beginning.
Yeah.
Again, seems to go pretty professionally. All the HODs are there, giving them all the briefings about like what's happening with the missile and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then he has that funny bit where he takes a phone call and he goes, "Can we pick this up later?" And it's like, it was a drill. And
It's a drill.
So he's quite charming there.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's quite charming at this speech at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I don't know, it's a different age of politics. Because then when we see him later in the movie, he gets like booed at that police in that football stadium.
Yeah, they don't like him at all.
Why? Like we don't touch on that at all. Like why is his approval rating so low that he's getting booed in the football stadium? Like
was President Fowler a Democrat?
So to bring it into sharp, maybe, but to bring it into sharp relief with like today is he?
Sorry. He's, according to Wiki, I found a fandom wiki, which is making myself a fucking capture to learn things about Tom Clancy films. Jesus Christ, slow your roll. He was a Democratic Republican. And his successor was Ann Coulter. What?
Wow.
What?
That's
his predecessor was Gerald Ford. His term started January 20th, 1988. It ended August 1990. His successor, fucking Ann Coulter, and his party was Democratic Republican. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously
born into an Ohio pig farming family. It all comes back to Babe.
Oh, there we go. And this pig's in the city now, and now he's ruling the city. No, it's so weird. So obviously, mad Clancyverse shit they don't even touch upon in the movie. Brilliant, love it.
Good.
Yeah, good. For the good of the film, I think, and for the good of the medium. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So they barely touch on that, but they don't touch on like why his approval rating is so low, or like why he's like publicly hated. And if you compare that with like Trump's recent appearance at a football game when he was trying to like read out that like declaration for like new service members they're going to take. It's like an enlistment ceremony thing. They did it like halftime at a football show because America. Like, why don't they just do that on a base like normal people? But anyway, everyone booed over him because they all hate him because he's a really terrible, tiresome like. Because like every time he opens his mouth, like just shit tumbles out, and like he's not funny, and he's not like he hasn't got bars. He's not like a pleasant person. He's just being a pure malice. So like it's weird to see that happen with James Cromwell, who is like plays quite an avuncular, charming guy. The only thing I can think of is like the comparison would be like George W. Bush, but like George W. Bush, even when he was doing like first pitches at baseball games and stuff, people liked it. But Bush might have been a terrible president, but he was like a decent personality hire, like he's a fun guy, like now I think about that now. Watch this Drive clip. I think about that like once a month. And it's 2026. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's the reason why like Donald Trump's like dipping on this year's Super Bowl. Like he's just gonna stay at home and watch like Kid Rock's live performance or whatever it is.
Yeah, an alternative Super Bowl halftime show. Yeah, because Bad Bunny's gonna fucking annihilate him.
You see that shit how Elon Musk asked him to change his name to Good Bunny.
Jesus Christ, man! Like you got bigger.
Humanity's ruled by unserious fucking people.
Oh man. Elon Musk the other day, like tweeting or posting on X, I guess is what he calls it now, like that, like money can't buy you happiness. Like, yes, it's the richest man in the world. Like, it's good. I'm glad it can't. Fuck you, man. Like, couldn't have happened to like a nicer guy. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, so and he also posted that I am nothing but insulted on this platform. Good. You bought it, and I'm glad it's terrible for you, and I'm glad that owning it is a miserable experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what they say, right? In a rich man's house, there is nowhere to spit but his face.
Yeah. What's that from again?
It's not.
I think it's Diogenes. I think it's Diogenes.
Diogenes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Lived in a barrel. Love that guy. Right, cool. We've sprayed, but I'm keeping it all in because it was good.
Because it's funny. And it's bars.
It's the closest thing we're going to do to journalism on this podcast.
Yeah.
Clark tracks the scientists to a former Soviet military facility in Ukraine.
No, because he goes to Russia first of all, and he goes to that weird hospital. There's just a kind of like DOS house.
Yeah.
And he goes to this old lady who's like the mom of one of them.
Yes.
Who's obviously dying from like fucking turbo bad lungs. And he gives her just a massive pack of tabs. And she's like, "Oh, my son. Oh, he's like tipped me off as to where he is," or some shit like that. And then he's like, "Aha, I'm going to go and check this out." So I believe he kind of scopes it out.
Yeah.
He finds out what's going on. You see them essentially putting it inside the vending machine. We haven't gone over that yet. A load of people are blown up by a cigarette machine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I see you, subtle dig at capitalism. And then the narrative takes us to John Clark and Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
Get on a boat. Go to Ukraine.
Right, Cabot's job's Jack Ryan off to go and do it. It's like, you have to go with him. You know all about it. You have to go with him. And he's like, but I'm
just an analyst.
I'm just an analyst. I just write reports. Classic Jack Ryan stuff. Ugh. Yeah. So he goes, and then he meets him on a ship.
Yeah.
And they have a bit of a talk about it. And John Clark covets his PDA. He's like, Jack Ryan's got a little PDA. John Clark covets it.
He covets it.
Does that thing do email? Like, and he's like zooming in on the maps and scrolling through images and stuff, isn't he? For like where it is.
And he kind of passively aggressively bitches him out a bit for taking his seat at the White House dinner, doesn't he?
Yes.
Like,
right. Yeah.
I was looking forward to going to that one.
And then they're on like a whiskey or something. They're on like a small rib.
Yeah.
Smashing through the waves.
Yeah.
Good bit of sound design. While they're having that argument, like, so how was the correspondence dinner? I was looking forward to that thing. Like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's great. It's great banter. It really is.
Yeah.
The
pull up and like fucking John Clark being an arch undercover operative has a fucking unsuppressed Gucci 1911 with fucking aftermarket hand grips, and then he gives Jack Ryan another unsuppressed 1911 just to use to defend the boat, and it's like, you gotta screw the can onto that thing, come on, dude. But that's like the very nice DNA of this film. In just a few years' time, that would have been like probably an HK USP with like a really big fucking can on the end of it, and like like a few years after that, film wise, it would have had like a little like red dot and stuff on it. But as it is, just giving him this incredibly loud fucking noisemaker because 9mm kills the body and 45 kills the soul. Hoss, God bless.
Yeah, so like movies that have to go through that awkward stage where they thought silences actually did make them silent.
Yeah,
and then eventually it gets the road the other side out now, where finally people understand what a silencer does and how it works and how it sounds. I mean, you gotta remember, this is a time in cinema where like you could put a pillow in front of the gun and it would render it silent. Like,
exactly.
That's not quite how that works. that's not what the pillow's there for. Anyway, so they raid this facility. They find it's all kind of cleared out. The scientists have been killed. They've obviously served their purpose.
Yeah, it's dogs eating them.
A couple of Ukrainian soldiers who look like Russian soldiers, but apparently are Ukrainian, come and encounter them. John Clark is like, shoot them.
Yeah.
But luckily, Jack Ryan talks them down because he can speak Ukrainian, which is good. And this
is a thing that kind of like snagged me a bit because like you say, like these guys like the Ukrainian, they've got like I think like Ukrainian insignia and the Rushankas and stuff, but it's like a significant amount of Ukrainians understand Russian and speak Russian. I mean, it's like it's like largely a bilingual country, right? So, and John Clark, we've seen him speak fluent enough Russian to pass himself off as an actual Russian in that weird like fucking hospital. So it's like the idea that he the idea he completely doesn't understand is like, come on. Yeah, it's like unless John Clark is like pretending to be unable to speak to them in their language, any language they comprehend, because he wants to kill them because he yearns for blood. I think that's probably a very, very generous interpretation.
Just another unanswerable question that this movie raises, along with the president's weird approval rating.
And what the fuck a Republican-Democrat is, or a Democrat-Republican?
It's not in the movie. It's not even in the movie. It's just in the book, isn't it? So like, Don't worry about it.
And he's succeeded by Ann Coulter, a real fucking person.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's just...
No, Mike, I want to worry about it.
Some of all fears, mate. Just don't worry about it.
No, I'm going to stay up all night.
It's Clancy, mate. Just don't worry about it.
No. I'm worried.
It's Clancy, mate. Just don't worry about it.
It's the Gospels of St. Thomas of Clancy, all right? It's the codices, the ancient texts. Me.
So, Cabot suspects they are building a nuclear weapon that Russia could use untraceably. Russia and the US relations are strained due to Russia's war in Chechnya. That's still in the movie. And that's the topic of rich debate. I think this is the bit where Ryan is like accusing the rest of the United States intelligence apparatus of being wrong about who's launched that attack. He's like, he's already been told like it's okay to say you don't know, but he's saying like it's a rogue general. It's like, what intelligence you got for that? I don't know, but he doesn't say I don't know. He says like, I know it, just vibes. Like, I'm sure of it. I'm sure this guy I've met once, it won't have done the thing because I wrote a paper on him. It's like, dude, man, it's not worth your rate. But
I love how like the immediate move is to like put American peacekeepers in Chechnya. By the way,
and the discussion
like, how we're going to get them there? We're going to fly them from Turkey. Will the Armenians feel okay with it? Anything to get at the Russians. It's like.
Yeah,
amazing.
This is a good opportunity to talk about it. So first of all, I like that they don't even discuss whether it's the right thing to do. They immediately are all agreed immediately. Like, we're going to put peacekeepers there. Like, that's not really how a command planning group should go. But fine. And then it's just a discussion of like how, isn't it? It's like how we're going to do it. But this is a good opportunity to talk about the incredible rogues gallery of that guys. That is the immediate cabinet. So you've got Philip Baker Hall there. You've got Ron Rifkin, who at this time was like an alias, but it's been loads of stuff. Bruce McGill, who we talked about like last time and the time before.
Yeah.
Like, we love Bruce McGill. He comes back again. Who else you got there? There's one of them. Oh, Dr. Kelso from Scrubs is there as well.
You know what? I just have to say something. I think I found an utterly fucking insane fan wiki to find this thing out about President Fowler. I found a Jack Ryan wiki that doesn't mention him being a Democrat - Republican. I have no idea what insanity I've dug into with this weird alternative facts, fake news, Jack Ryan Wikipedia page, this Fanpedia thing. I'm sorry that we're going so mad and so fucking rabbit hole here. I think this is a QAnon wiki.
What? No, mate, get off there. This
is called the Q porn wiki. Porn as in the chess piece.
Right.
And
what's this?
This is insane. This is mental. I don't understand. This is some kind of online game that's been running since 2008. President Fowler is in it and was canonically succeeded by Ann Coulter after ending his career as a Democrat - Republican president. I don't understand what's going on. There's a featured article saying, hello there, do read. It's taken me to... This is weird. This is really weird. This is like this is strange. I can't believe I stumbled onto some kind of weird QAnon type fucking play by post online game that's been dead for 15 years. What the fuck? Yeah.
So, just to clarify for our listeners, so the Ann Coulter thing, is that just from this game, or is that actually legit, like Clancy lore?
Ann Coulter thing is from this weird, what appears to be like an online play-by-post kind of game called Q Porn. The actual real thing is that he was succeeded by Vice President Durling at the end of his career.
Right, and then probably Jack Ryan, right?
Yeah, because then Jack Ryan accidentally became president and then became a 5-term tyrant.
Cool. Can I continue with the movie now before we get... I don't want to get into this QAnon thing, right? We're already living through it.
Please, it's upsetting me. I've closed the window. It's upsetting me.
Okay. It's just some doom scrolling a lot these days, and I don't know if you've noticed on our group chat, I'm getting like angry and angry every day.
I hadn't noticed.
Yeah. Right, Ryan and his colleagues discern that a crate from the Ukraine facility was flown to the Canary Islands, then sent to Baltimore on a cargo ship. Ryan warns Cabot, who was attending a football game in the city with the US president. Fowler is evacuated before the bomb detonates, but the stadium is destroyed and Cabot is mortally wounded. Worsening matters, a corrupt Russian Air Force general paid by Dressler, sends warplanes to attack a US aircraft carrier, leading the US to believe that Russia perpetrated the nuclear bombing, and Fowler orders a nuclear strike on Russia. So that's quite a lot of stuff. Let's go back to the blast. Pretty mega to see a tactical nuke in the US. I mean, it's only in a movie, right? But it's a pretty evocative image to see like the mushroom cloud over an American
really
city.
is. The way the whole thing's shot is tremendous. It's like you have these just rapid cuts between all of the faces of these people in the stadium, and it's not obviously. Maybe it felt different in 2002 or 3 when this film was out in cinemas, but at this point, it just feels like it's treating the audience brutally. It's treating the viewers brutally because it's showing you the smash cut of all these different faces of people who were about to die horribly.
It reminds me of it's like a 1960s film called Failsafe, which is about, it's really similar actually. So it's set in like, I guess the war room, right?
Yeah.
And what's happened is, at this time, America's nuclear deterrent against the Soviets was like a constantly up in the air fleet of nuclear bomber planes.
Yeah.
That was constantly just like refuel and replenish and like relieve each other kind of thing. So like submarines, but for less time and a lot more work intensive. Anyway, what happens is one of those planes gets like an erroneous order to go and bomb Moscow, and then because of the measures they have in place, the fail-safes, if you like,
yeah,
the pilot basically goes, so once I've got that order, you've got like a grace period of like however long to like recant that order, and if I don't hear it then, that's it. I'm doing the order. Whatever happens, happens. To the point where like America's sending other planes to shoot them down, and it gets defended by its like own little battle group.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. And then they like get in touch with the guy, and he just chins him off and says like, protocol says I'm not allowed to take any more orders from you. Like I've got the kill order. That's it. And it's like the president himself gets on the phone. He's like, well, that voice could be imitated. How do I know it's really the president? Fuck it. Not listening to it. And then eventually they get the guy's wife crying, screaming, throwing up to like call him. And he's like, I don't know if you're my real wife, so I'm going to do it. And eventually like the president has to call like the Russian premier and explain to him like, look, I'm really sorry, like we're about to bomb Moscow. I've tried everything I can to stop it. Please don't bomb America. Like don't do a full scale invasion back to us. Like that's not what we want. We're not trying to do this. And as a show of good faith, I'm going to drop a bomb myself on New York. And then like the last shot of the movie is like a rapid montage of a bunch of people just doing their ordinary lives in New York. Like there's kids playing in like playgrounds, there's like a shopping vendor, there's people walking down the street, there's like taxi drivers driving cars, just cuts between as the countdown goes down, and then it just ends on like a white screen, and then it's like credits.
Wow.
And it's mega. It's like the serious version of Doctor Strangelove.
Holy shit.
Yeah, wild. So that's what it reminded me of. Like when you saw that, like those fast cuts, people was like, oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
In that like bleak.
It is bleak, and like the fact that it's not like a lesser film could have zoomed in on, say, a family, like a dad and a son, like, what's going on? No, Dad, I don't know, Billy, just the president's being goofy and running away, we hate him kind of thing or something. I wouldn't have had the same effect as just you are being shown shot after shot after shot of faces of people who are going to be fucking radioactive dust in a few minutes, in a few seconds, and it's just really good. And it, of course, ushers in an absolute sea change in the film and how the film's storytelling works and how the film's portrayed, how the production of the film, I think production values change, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, to make a comparison, it's probably not fair because they're different movies with different ideas of what they're trying to do. But like, you compare to like the scenes in like Independence Day.
Yeah.
It's not the first time we brought up Independence Day on this podcast, actually.
It's not.
But you have the scenes in Independence Day, which again, like a lot of civilians have been killed. But we follow, is it Vivica A. Fox, who plays like the Jasmine, who's like the dancer that Will Smith gets with.
Yeah.
And has the kid. And you get their plight, and obviously like you have the whole thing with they duck into that bridge, and like the dog they have with them like jumps.
Yeah.
Into like cover while a big fireball goes behind it, and it's just like, yeah, obviously like big Jerry Bruckheimer, big blockbuster, but like very very cheesy. This isn't cheesy. This is pretty grim. Another thing it does, which I think is pretty cool, is you get the scene of it's a U.S. Marine like helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't know the brand. It's not Seahawk.
I think that's a Sea Stallion.
Yeah, Sea Stallion. There you go. Big sweaty oily guys. They're still in service. It's not Marine One.
Yeah.
Which is the protocol, but it's obviously like the next best thing that will become Marine One as soon as the president gets on board. But they do the whole thing of like finding the vehicle that the president was in and rescuing him because he is like the only point of contact who is authorized at this point to do like what he needs to do. At the same time, I was right. So this is like I don't want to get into like super deep in the weeds, but I read recently Nuclear War Scenario by Annie Jacobson, which is a really interesting book. It's not perfect, but it's really, really interesting book in terms of like a way of teaching you like what the infrastructure for the American handling of like a nuclear conflict, the initial stages of it, and what that organization looks like, and like the founding principles of it and the doctrinal kind of bedrock of that. Really, really interesting. In terms of like what would happen in a realistic conflict, not so much, because it's like a one-shot bullet out of the blue. To simplify it so you can like get into the weeds of a really dense subject, they make it the scenario itself pretty simple. But one of the things that happens in that is what would happen in the event of obviously like the nuclear war, who's got the power to do stuff about it, and what is the initial steps that are taken to safeguard those people. And there's like a team of US Marines whose sole job it is to like extricate the president from wherever he is and take him to like a bunker for safety, to the extent that they will do like nothing else. So like they will run into like a developing situation, and they will grab the president and run and take him away. The president could be like kicking off. The president's family could be there. Like that, if the president's family ruin the all up mass of the helicopter so they can't take off, then they're getting left behind. Like the president's coming, kind of thing. And they do the same sort of thing for the National Security Secretary of Defense, I think. So again, so it's the president, and it's the highest ranking civilian who's in control of the military. So yeah, defense secretary, or fucking Secretary of War now, I guess.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Secretary of Cringe.
Yeah, Secretary of Cringe, big time. Right, here's another aside. I read the US National Defense Strategy last week. It's obviously like a very high-level, glossy doctrine publication, just to give you like a precis of like what their founding principles are for this current era of defense spending, procurement, deployment, etc. We do the same thing. Our Strategic Defense Review came out like last year. Same sort of thing. Ours is a lot longer, actually, and a lot more detailed. Theirs is like 20-odd pages, and I swear to God, like every image in it, bar one painting of George Washington crossing the Potomac, and one photograph of two sailors backs to the camera with a US flag draped during ceremonial. Every other picture was of like Hegseth or Trump or Vance, or Hegseth, Trump and Vance. Like, it was not about the troops. It was not about the materiel. It was not about the military. There's a way of showing the nation that you've got this big, powerful military and what you're going to do with it around the world. Like, it completely failed, because it was like, what military? Like, there's no talk about here about like where you're sending stuff or what you're doing with stuff. It's just like bluster about like, we're going to be globally modern and ready to like defeat the threats to America by doing fuck all and staying in our swim lane and invading, except we're going to invade Venezuela. Like, it's insane. Anyway.
And it's really fucking funny, because that's like photographs of three men who couldn't win a physical fight if they were the last and only three men on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I think Vance had some like reservist time. Hegseth had some reservist time. Trump famously had fucking bone spurs and was the fortunate son who got a fucking Vietnam. Like just like valid to the maximum. Yeah. Like Hegseth, that whole stuff with Hegseth and Senator Kelly, like absolutely insane. This jumped up fucking corporal is like going after like one of the most decorated foreign captains who's an astronaut, who's the fucking husband of Gabby Gifford. Like it's fucking insane.
JD Vance looks like the fucking Bucky's mascot crossed with Nightman.
Yeah. Oh my God, because they like the eye shadow. Yeah, God. And the chipmunk. The Bucky's mascot is a chipmunk, Sonia. Oh my God. Yeah. There's a big famous American chain of service stations. Yeah.
Actually, I believe it's pronounced Bussies. No, it's not, but I need to use the word Bussy in an episode.
Brilliant. Who would have thought this would be the one where I got political? Right. So yeah, the Marines come, they rescue the president, they take him to the bunker. Oh no, they get him onto, actually, this is another real thing. They put him on an aeroplane, actually, instead of putting him in a single place. So they can do an in the air, like, HQ, roving HQ, where they can continue the battle from.
Yeah.
Or they can put him in a bunker. In this case, they put him in the air, don't they? With his cabinet. Not all the cabinet would be together, by the way, but for this movie, they are. So they're having their whole thing where they're going to go, who's hits with a nuke? Who's hits with a nuke? It's got to be Russia. It's got to be Russia. Philip Baker Hall makes a very good point, and it's accurate and true that there are hundreds of nukes that Russia had during disarmament that we don't know where they are and are unaccounted for. That's still true today. So interesting. And then
it's not like the United States is immune to their own broken arrow scenarios where they keep dropping nukes like on their own states on accident and don't find them ever again, or just lose them in the Mediterranean or somewhere in Europe or whatever.
Broken Arrow.
Yeah. You've even got a word for it.
Yeah, and then the movie.
Fun fact, while I'm at it, so as we all know, Germany has agreed to let the United States station nuclear weapons on German soil as part of the NATO nuclear deterrent. Apparently, at some point, security on the connected air bases was so bad that personnel could order pizza into their office at the place that has the nukes.
That's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, so and we're trusting these guys with our nuclear deterrent. Just give me the nukes. I'll take better care of them.
Good grief. Now the movie cuts to Jack Ryan, his perspective. So there's that really cool sequence where like the sound is gone and he's like discombobulated and he's
because his helicopter is brought down by the nuclear blast.
Mm-hmm. And he survives it, and you kind of see like the color grading of the scene changes a bit. Like it looks a bit great. It looks a bit like greened out, doesn't it? A bit like Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if like that's where that visual language came from.
It's actually a very good call. I think because I'm going to speak very carefully and respectfully here for once, but I don't feel like it was on purpose shot to resemble a lot of the news footage you saw in the immediate aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. But I think by fortune or misfortune, it does really kind of like evoke that. And I think there's a high possibility that that's among other things fed into the visual storytelling that then we saw in Fallout 3 going onwards, you know?
Jack Ryan speaks to Cabot, but Cabot sadly dies. And Cabot is, of course, the senior bod who has the access, who could get that message across to someone who would listen to him. That now is gone. So Ryan has now got his big thing. The two things he's worried about now are what is the fate of Kathy, whose hospital is probably somewhere in the blast radius.
Yeah.
And how do I get the message to the president and to Nemerov that we know that it wasn't a Russian nuke? Stand on the SCCP, fucking Easter 5 shipmates. So
and he texts on with Spinnaker for a bit and have a bit of crack on, and he's like, not lost, stolen by who? You know, you stole your own bomb, you crazy bastards, kind of thing. While this is happening as well, obviously in the US president's doomsday plane, you've got kind of a scene that's kind of almost like, work with me here, kind of mirror universe dark half reshoot of the kind of a Thursday War kind of scene earlier in the film when they're in the bunker and being very calm and cool when they're talking about the destruction of the planet and stuff, and you cut to this one now when things have changed. It's shot in a totally different way. The camera's right in people's faces. People are freaking out, stressing. There's one guy, I got up in the goddamn chair! You know? Like, it's like... And that's just really good. That's a great scene.
Really good comparison, isn't it? Like from when they're all super calm and just reading off all the facts compared to like them all panicking,
And now it's like, it's an interesting choice to show essentially the President's War Council not being steely when the time came. Above almost all else, this one particular sequence, when it shows you how it's meant to go at the start of the film. This is how it's meant to go when America's in the position of destroying the entire planet in nuclear fire or not doing so. And then it takes you to this place where there's crosstalk and yelling and people are freaking out and unable to operate furniture. And it's like this unpins a lot of the expectations that the previous scene at the start of the film gave you. And I think that's really cool.
I think it's interesting that that President Fowler avoids making a decision on what to do, even in the drill, by bidding off the drill early.
Yeah.
So it just shows that, and even in his best day, he's not prepared to make the call on what to do. He hasn't actually had to like deeply, seriously think about it before. And there's another bit which is like tremendous ego. Is they're arguing in the plane, and he says, "This is my presidency." I'm like, mate, it's the fate of the whole world. It's not your no one's gonna fuck about your presidency after this.
Yeah,
like,
it's like you aren't gonna feed your starving mutated children with electoral votes after this, mate. You know, California, 54 electoral votes. My children were born with advanced fucking kidney disease due to massive amounts of radiation.
Yeah, wild. Where are we at now in the movie?
We'll start to see America's retaliation, because obviously America has to retaliate.
Yeah.
And they go for a limited conventional response. F-16s and smart bombs against the Russian airbase. And in a scene that, you see, this film, with all the stuff that it does right, the footage it uses for the Russian planes being destroyed, it appears to be footage of like a C-130 being blown up in like some kind of like firing range, kind of like fucking IR kind of footage, like stock footage kind of thing. And it's like, why you do this, man? We've just seen a load of CGI Russian bombers that I think were backfires, but don't quote me on that. And blowing the shit out of a CGI American aircraft carrier, CGI Sea-Wiz trying to shoot down CGI missiles, and then it's like, as an afterthought, they just grab some archive footage for C-130 getting blown up. It's like, you've got the models of these like bombers right there on your computers. You can show some being blown up on the ground.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the tackle and Nimitz. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Sandy, you must have opinions about the employment of Sea-Wiz in that scenario.
So
that's close-in weapon system. Sorry for the civilians listening to us. Sorry, guys. It's God, what's an example? Phalanx isn't a good example of a weapon system. Basically, what it is, they put up like a wall of lead. It's the very last ditch of bit of defense for an aircraft carrier or other large vessels, like a high-value unit. They are basically multi-barreled machine guns that fire out like tremendously high rate of fire, a large number of lead rounds that are called fletching rounds. They come in like a plastic case that flies apart like arrows, and they put up a wall of lead basically to try and defeat it could be drones nowadays, but conventionally missiles and aircraft that are attacking have got through the layered defense system of an aircraft carrier or high value unit. And by that I mean they've got all the way through the missile engagement zone of all the goalkeeping destroyers and frigates around them, and they've got through the fighter engagement zone further out than that of all the battle group's own flight of intercepting aircraft. So the very, very last thing before they get in is the Sea-Wiz. So yeah, sorry, Sanya, go on.
So I have opinions on that entire bit.
Yes.
First of all, I mean, in thoughts and prayers, I never have to hear someone yell "vampire, vampire" while I'm in the ops room, because I haven't made my will yet. Secondly, I didn't quite pick it up yesterday, but I might have still been goalkeeper, not phalanx, which is the
it's goalkeeper in the movie. Yeah, it's not
which goalkeeper is a Dutch Sea-Wiz system, which has actually one large advantage over phalanx, which is it has a deck penetrating magazine, so you can actually just swap it out instead of spending 45 minutes loading all 30 seconds of ammunition in. One thing in this sequence, which is probably just done for dramatic effect, but it has irked me immensely to have the fighter bombers launching the missiles in visual range of the carrier and that proximity. Like, if you like, I think at that point the you're well within the tiniest lethality bubble surrounding that ship, and at that point. Goalkeeper wouldn't open up on the missiles, it would open up on the planes.
Right,
like people tend to forget that, but fighter jets are actually humongous. Like Russian fighter jets on average have roughly the same size as a World War II Lancaster bomber. So I think there is a solid chance that all those systems might have pinged those planes way earlier and just shot down the planes.
It would have shot down the plane, and then the next biggest chunk of the plane, and the next biggest chunk of the plane after that, until the chunks of the plane left.
I think at that range, the ship might have just been hit with debris anyway, even if they had shot down something. Because if you like, I don't know, a supersonic sledgehammer isn't just gonna completely disintegrate in that range and fall in the water.
Yeah. But the whole thing's fucked up. So
I've quickly looked, and it appears to be what NATO called AS-4 Kitchens, and the KH-22 Storm missile, which has a range of 600 kilometers. So there wouldn't be any visual range. Yeah.
The standard anti-ship missile during the Cold War was actually based on an entire fighter jet hull fitted with explosives at the front. And that height they're flying as well, there's not really a chance they're getting away undetected either. Because either you would launch way further away at a higher altitude, or if you get that close, you would try to go for a sea skimming or a pop-up attack. And you wouldn't just fly there like well within radar height and come that close without being detected.
Yeah, like they haven't learned any lessons from the Falklands.
Clear.
Which is that's pretty wild. So even the Argentinians had better tactics, because they obviously did the pop-up attack as their sort of standard operating procedure when they were flying their Etnards during the Falklands. The other thing that's messed up about this is that this US carrier, while Russia's on a war footing with Chechnya, this US carrier is operating in the North Sea on its own, isn't part of a battle group, or what we now call a carrier strike group. So that layer defense I talked about isn't there at all.
It's just doing its own thing.
Yeah, which is pretty rare.
With an American city getting nuked, I'd imagine every American aircraft carrier is putting up a combat air patrol. Every American aircraft carrier's got airborne early warning up, right? That would happen, I imagine. Like, they wouldn't be just like chilling out in the dark. That have the lights on, you know?
Yeah. It also wouldn't be on its own. It'd be there with it would be there with, like, you know, a fleet of Arleigh Burkes or Ticonderogas, you know. Or if it was a NATO type thing, there'd be a mixture of like a NATO battle group with that at the centre of it, kind of thing. It wouldn't be on its own, cutting about in the North Sea. That's just unrealistic. So the fact they can do like a proportional attack by shooting that one ship is pretty wild. If Russia wanted to do a proportional attack by shooting one US aircraft carrier, they'd have to find one that's like alongside by chance in like a NATO country to kind of send the message. But then that would violate the territorials of that country.
I'm just imagining them
they've
flying.
just rolled double sixes to find the situation.
I'm really sorry. I'm just imagining them flying like all the way to Pearl Harbor now. Hey, Ben Affleck, remember that film lately, mate? A beautiful moment in Hawaii. All of a sudden.
If we're going to talk about engagements where Russia travelled a really, really long way and then got absolutely summarily, roundedly beaten, we could talk about the Russo-Japanese war in the Battle of Tsushima in 1908, where they sailed their entire fleet around Africa to go to Japan, and then rocked up to Japan and got absolutely annihilated because their fleet fell apart on the way.
Would you like to talk about their engagement of Northumbrian fishermen as well? When they just started shooting each other as well. They thought the Russians were, the Japanese were in the channel for some reason. Yeah, but I think the only realistic thing of that scene is like the missiles going for the superstructure of the ship. It's like, it went for the biggest Raiders signature. That's like it. But yeah, where's the battle group? Why is the distance so short? We are DEFCON 3. Why is everyone like basically with their pants down?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, exactly.
Where the hell are those planes coming from undetected?
Yeah,
it's like they fly over half of NATO.
Yeah,
it's like yes, the Russian airport of Hamburg.
Don't fucking manifest that, Sanya. That sounded too plausible.
We have seen how good the Russians are at taking airports in the 1,500-day special operation currently going on.
Yeah. Like, what have they done? Like, the launch go long aside into the nuttiness of that naval engagement. The movie's nearly over. So Jack Ryan makes his way to the National Military Command Center in the Pentagon, holding Cabot's credentials, and gets in. There's a tense moment where he doesn't nearly get in, and the security guard's about ready to put rounds down, but then the key card works, and the security guard's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, you can come on in then. I won't bother looking at it, even though clearly you're fucked up. Anyway, yeah, he gets in, manages to make an argument with, what is it? Is it a squadron leader or something? There's a US Air Force guy in charge of the room where the crypto is for the little telex system.
Yeah, it's someone who's vaguely high up in the US Air Force. But before this, we've missed out how the Russians and Americans are communicating via typed out messages and stuff. And the Russian president, after seeing the attack, has got his team to write like a kind of like draft a response. Saying, oh, shit, really worried kind of thing, wasn't us, homie kind of thing. And then when it's sent through as a response to the Americans so quickly, it's like, that's canned, they were ready for this. It's like, oh man, that was really bad timing. Yeah,
because
so
whomst among us doesn't draft a message first before they pop it into chat? But like in a professional situation. But that telex system they've got apparently transmits every single keystroke, it seems.
I just send people emojis in JChat.
I have done that today.
But did you do it intentional?
I did send a laughing emoji quite seriously today.
Can you imagine this shit being done over Microsoft Teams, though? Like, it totally would take away, like, the gravity of the situation, wouldn't it?
Yes, imagine watching this film. Baltimore has just been nuked. Every American plane is on its way to Moscow, and suddenly you're hit with the MS Teams calling sound.
Yeah, and then Nemirov is like, I'm sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
You're muted, Tovarish. You're muted.
Oh, apologies, Parame. I am double muted. I was double muted. I didn't realize.
Dr. Ryan, can you see me?
And of course, like, the president's fucked up and he's hit a filter button. He's like, I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat.
I'm not a cat. And he's like, and like, Nemirov's like, Kitska!
And then the president's like, can you tell Ryan to stop sharing his screen now?
It was like Ryan, your hands up. Did you mean to put your hand up? Oh no, I meant to send a reaction.
Mr. Secretary, I think your mic is still on.
One of them's doing that really fuck ass thing of having like a stupid like fucking tropical beach background. You know? And it's like you have like a serious meeting about things and like some dude like one of Nemirov's aides just kind of tunes in and he's got some like ridiculous fucking tropical beach background and it's just like kind of contrasting with the fact that he's got the facial expression of a man whose country's about to get glassed.
There's always one person who's like hasn't set their picture to be like a professional image of them, and it's just like an emoji or like something. Gorshkov, why? Which one of you is the minion? Why is one of you a minion?
Good fucking grief.
The head of the Russian Air Force just has himself set as a background and isn't even on the meeting.
So yeah, Jack Ryan starts getting involved in the messages. He obviously lays out what he knows to try and talk them both down. He's hijacked the thing. He's managed to convince that room full of like Air Force people and stuff that he's allowed to do what he's doing, and they agree with him that cooler heads need to prevail. So they've got him on side, but all the while they're trying to cut him off. But he fights to keep talking, and he gets the message out. And just when you think it's all fucked because he's been cut off, Nemirov agrees to back off his missiles because he's got them in an arming sequence. And then he proposes like a 5-hour staged de-escalation, and the day is saved, which is fantastic. So that's that. And then we enter the plot of The Sum of All Fears, the 2002 Red Storm Entertainment video game.
Yes.
Where we get just one of the most cathartic sequences in cinema, where all the bastards who are behind all this get killed by a variety of assassins from Russia and America.
They get theirs, and it's beautiful.
It's so good. It starts with John Clark garroting the arms dealer.
No, slits his fucking throat. He slits his throat with that straight blade of tandpost, and like it's sick. It
Somebody
is literally.
But yeah, maybe
best fucking use of Pavarotti I've seen in the film in some time.
Right? Yes.
Incredible.
Ness and
Doma
Dormer
blasting out while a load of white supremacists get erased. It's dopamine. It's fantastic. Just
so good.
Yes,
perfection. I like how they're all shot slightly different. So you've got like the like it's a bit yellow tinged, it's somewhere hot, and then the John Clark like slits that guy's throat, and then it cuts to like another guy who's like stumbling through the snow in the woods.
that's the Russian Air Force commander who tricked his dudes into thinking Moscow had been nuked and sent them off to sink the Nimitz.
That's right. The US Navy, by the way, stipulated that you can't have that, because in the script originally that ship was going to get sunk, and they're like, you can't sink our ship. We draw the line at that. We don't want to perpetuate the idea that our ships are so easily sunk. Anyway.
Yeah.
See him get taken out. Those two guys stand over him, like empty their magazines into him. Very satisfying as well. And then the last one is Dressler, who he sends a guy out. Oh, I love this. Sends a guy out to start his car up for him.
Yeah,
and the car starts. And it's like, oh, right, okay, so it's not a car bomb, cool. And he sits in the car, and because earlier on in the movie, when he was having a meeting with his cabal of horrible Nazis, he joked, "Oh, do you have a cigarette? Those things will kill you." Ha. And he takes one. He plugs in the cigarette lighter, and a cigarette lighter is what detonates the car. Cigarettes killed him in the end. Brilliant.
Coffin nails, baby, cowboy killers.
So good. And then we get, while that's happening, intercut with that, we have like the signing of the peace treaty between Russia and America, and probably like a further de-escalation of arms treaty. And then it cuts to like a little park just away from the White House, where Jack Ryan is having a picnic with Kathy, watching a little portable television they brought with them.
Yeah.
Remember those? They were a thing.
Yeah.
And then who should wander up to speak to him? Only the man who helped him all this time, Spinnaker Michael
himself.
Byrne. And it's just like, man, and then they have that like that bit of dialogue where it's like, to keep the back channels open to prevent disaster at the last moment kind of thing.
And he's like, and he has a present to celebrate your engagement. And he's like, oh my God, he only asked her to marry me this morning. And he's like, yeah, well, come on, all the shit you've seen, dude. I am pretty aware of how things work on this planet, my friend.
I am a spy.
Have a great marriage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So he's also watching when Dressler's car explodes as well from like a nearby building. Ah, that's really good.
Based.
Cold as fuck. Yeah.
Cool. The moment earlier in the film when he offers just to shoot that rogue general who bombed Chechnya, it's like, should I shoot him or whatever? It's like, yeah, based. But it's cast because he's shown as old school, brutal, the Soviet school of intelligence and counterintelligence. But he's a good fucking guy. And he's on the side of right, which happens to be America and Russia being buddies, which was kind of
novel at the time.
Naive.
Obviously, this is like
it was novel yet kind of naive.
A little bit naive, 2002. So we are firmly back in the Putin era, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we had a little respite between Gorbachev and Yeltsin and stuff, but the old man's back again. Yeah,
we had that weird era, didn't we? Like we used to do. NATO used to do military exercises together with Russia at that point.
Yeah. Like Boris Yeltsin was just like a fun guy.
Yeah, just a man, just an innocent man,
just a guy, just like get tanked up and just dance around the place and appear on television drunk.
He was a pub guy. He was a pub man, wasn't he? He was like
we trained naval landings in the Baltics together with the Russians. Like, what were we thinking?
Crazy,
wild,
right?
Isn't it? And now there they are again, number one threat again.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's the movie. Should we take a short break and then Rory, you're going to take us through some categories.
All right. Welcome back to Clear and Present Dudes, and we're going into the categories now. So, working off the same kind of category structure I've been doing previously, might have thrown some other stuff in there to zhuzh it up a bit and make it a bit crazier. Let's start with a good old staple. Let's go for the casting. So the first person credited in this film is Ian Mongrain, who's a Syrian radar operator. That's his credit. And he's only got one acting role on his CV, which is this film. Everything else on his IMDb page, there's probably an IMDb, but it's probably really fucked up. The film database page is like technical stuff. Data manager, data wrangler, data technician. He worked as data manager on Transformers Rise of the Beast, lab tech for dailies on Moonfall, data management for Midway. Midway mentioned.
Wow.
Midway mentioned.
That's a real movie that exists.
That's a real movie that exists.
We've all
data
seen
management
films.
tech for what was that, Sandy?
We've all seen films. That's the sort of category Midway falls into.
I've watched Midway more than once. My old boss loves Midway, and I was like,
really?
Have you seen other films? You know they're not all like this.
Getting a lot of Midway vibes from this one. Guy who's only seen Midway.
Midway vibes from this movie. You watch it, settles down to watch Matt Damon's The Wall. Getting a lot of Midway vibes from this movie. A lot of weird Chinese co-production vibes from this movie. Yeah.
Putting the mid in Midway.
Saying,
nice.
Patrick Wilson deserves so much more than that movie. That's not how I wanted to see.
Bars.
Yeah, sorry, man. Bars. But
no,
yeah,
don't apologise. That was some bars from Sanya. The putting the mid in Midway. I love that. Right. Stuff. Yeah. Ian Mongrain. This is a lot of granularity for a guy who plays a radar operator just for some reason after doing loads of tech shit on other films. I don't know why he did it. I don't know why he got the role. I couldn't find anything about it on the internet. I mean, I got a role in a film just by being a cool friend and a nice guy to be with. So it happens sometimes. This guy's done real shit. He also worked on the Jack Ryan TV show as a data management tech, showing that everything comes back to Tommy C. He worked as data management again for a show called Fubar, Age of Computer, which just sounds like the best title ever. And is also credited as Jan Mongrain as a digital image tech for the same show. Who is this guy? This guy has mysteries about him.
Clearly loves data. Maybe that's why they made him a radar operator, because he's just so good at sitting at consoles and pushing buttons and turning little wheels.
The song do exactly that, and they're like...
Do it and we'll give you a $5.
And they're like, boy, have I got a role for you. Just sit right there.
How would you like to just stay where you are right now and we shove a camera into your face?
That's amazing. I love it. We've mentioned before, John Clark, played by Liev Schreiber, younger, more urbane, more restrained, still with a significant amount of sinister aura about himself than the previous movie, John Clark. Massive for Ray Donovan, a show that I recall being huge, but it's like a total cultural blind spot for me. I've never seen it. I don't even know really what it's about.
It's a Showtime TV show, so...
Just tell me.
My mum got really into it. It's one of them ones, like Blue Bloods, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he continued to kind of do some thriller maxing after his turn in Sum of All Fears. He played Raymond Shaw in the Manchurian Candidate remake. Yes. He played Sigmund Freud between those two films. He's recently been in the Splinter Cell Death Watch series playing Sam Fisher, another Tom Clancy
I did not
title.
know that was a thing.
Yeah. It's an animated thing. Yeah, it's animated.
Yeah.
He's playing Sam Fisher, so once again, everything comes back to Clancy. Yeah. It's crazy, man. He also played Copernicus, an anthropomorphic cat who led a cult of improv actors in BoJack Horseman.
Oh, that's him!
Yes, and yeah, man, the big fucking cat dude who was like...
Oh, I love that guy.
On the boat, on that like thinly disguised Scientology proxy Sea Org thing they had when he's like, oh, you see, my cabin's just like the rest of yours, but with the power of imagination, it can be filled with jewels and gold. And then there's actually a little door through a room that literally is filled with jewels and gold. It's like, fuck you, Copernicus. Yes, and
no but
Richard Marner, we've talked about him already. Known to British TV heads and enjoyers of 90s dad-coded comedies as Colonel Von Strom from Hello Hello.
Perfect show.
It looks like he actually came out of retirement for this film. It looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
He may have been doing other stuff between his penultimate appearance in a guest role in an episode of Lovejoy in 1994. But whatever he was doing, it wasn't acting in films and TV. Then he came back to just spectacularly die after telling people that he's fit as a lot, mate.
I would
Going
have
strong. Totally fine.
I wouldn't have used like a good stage actor. I get stage vibes from him.
I bet he was out there stage maxing. I bet he was. 1 second, let me just go through this. Lee Darlington, who played Mary Pat Foley, the line manager of Jack Ryan, the one who you see in the office at the start of the film, and then again she's giving him some advice later on, just giving a really great, heavily pregnant and not having time for bullshit kind of vibe to the role. I'm a big fan of Mary Pat Foley in the books. I think she's a total fucking badass. I think she's brilliant. I love her kind of development from being kind of badass, like kind of a field operative and cardinal of the Kremlin, going all the way to like being incredibly high up in the CIA in The Bear and the Dragon. And she is an absolute that gal for things she's been in. She's done a significant amount of guest work. She has 234 credits as an actor on IMDb. It is wild stuff. Going strong out for a long career. The most recent thing she was in was a TV movie called Oh No, Not Them. She had a guest spot in an episode of The Good Doctor in 2022. I am a surgeon.
I was waiting for that live hard reaction.
Dr. Hahn! Can you imagine him getting disciplined by Mary Pat Foley if like instead of like a doctor he was like a CIA officer, and he's like, I am a spy. Mary Pat, I am a spy, and just fuck off. So yeah, she's done. I mean, she's been working since like 80s. She's been like bit parts in films like Cobra. She's been in like loads of like one shots in things like she was in episode Quantum Leap, Blossom, stuff like that. She's done loads and loads of character actor stuff, Wings. She's done like everything basically. She's done horror stuff to like just ridiculous sitcoms, drama. She's incredibly it seems flexible and versatile, and I do love when a film has an absolute that guy / that gal in it.
She's Beulah in Field of Dreams.
Yes, she's in Sneakers as well.
Exactly, so that's the connection to the director, because obviously Field of Dreams, Sneakers.
Yeah, she plays Natalie's mom in American Pie 2. You could just literally, like, I'm just going to scroll the screen and pick a random thing here. Moving on, we have got, of course, Ciarán Hinds as Nemerov. I've seen like a lot of reviews of people saying, once again, it's like a non-Russian playing a Russian president, and it's like, yeah, fair enough, actually. But I mean, at that point, I don't think they had like a big like talent pool that could kind of dig into, you know, when you're making like a film with like Ben Affleck and Morgan Freeman and the guy from Babe as like leading characters. Was there really any kind of Russian equivalent of them working in Western film? Probably not. I mean, Richard Marner was actually born in Russia. His family like dipped in the 1920s. So you did have one actually Russian-born president briefly before he announced his level of fitness was over 9,000, and then he died. Ciarán Hinds, again, what an absolute performer. I was a big fan of him in The English. Such a fucking good show. Yeah. And of course, in The Terror, he's unbeatable as John Franklin in The Terror.
Yes.
Russia Maxes in Hitman Agent 47 as Litvenko.
Which one's that? Is that the Rupert Friend Hitman or the other one?
It's the one that came out in 2015, if that helps at all. It's got 5 stars on IMDb.
The Rupert Friend one, not the Timothy Olyphant one. Yeah. And
of course he was in John Carter, a film that my wife is adamant she hasn't seen, even though I've watched it with her.
It's great.
Which is great, because it means I got to watch it again. I got to watch it again, dude.
And it's great. I don't know why people sleep on that movie. It's really good.
Yeah. My theory is that Disney didn't know how to promote it properly, so they just didn't bother. And it didn't embed itself enough into the zeitgeist for people to be like, this is good, actually.
It was definitely one of those movies that when it came out, it was like you'd see its name on a bus And like for me, that's like the lowest hanging fruit for film promotion. It's like, oh, if you see it on the side of a bus, it's either the biggest film of the year or it's a big pile of shit. And there's nothing in the middle.
Yeah, definitely. Kieran Hines was also in a short film called Glock, in which he played a character called Luger.
All right. What's his best friend called? Browning.
He
was having a grand time.
He was. A grand time, I love it. He thriller maxed in Miami Vice in 2006, Munich in 2005. He's a guy who has just got an excellent like range of leading man kind of stuff. He was in fucking Soldier for one episode. The English drama that loved torturing squaddies.
Yeah. Oh God, Robson and Jerome.
Robson and Jerome up on the roof, man.
A lot of people probably know him best as from Game of Thrones, right? As
Mance Rayder.
Mance Rayder, the leader of the Wildling folk.
Yeah. He was in Excalibur.
Oh, that must be like his first movie or something. It's like Liam Neeson was in it as well, and so was Patrick Stewart. They all played like knights, but they were all like in it for like a scene.
Yeah. Looking on and moving on from our excellent Nemirov. Alan Bates, brooding, sinister, absolutely bastardry as the evil Austrian white supremacist. So he's given us like fantastic villain monologue to his webcam as we see the say cut of the nuclear weapon being brought into America and stuff, and it's like he's believably horrible. He's outlandish and he's flamboyant, but he's also believably horrible in this role. This was, I think, maybe his second or third last film as well. I don't think he worked a lot after this. He was in a film called Evelyn, then a TV movie called Salem Witch Trials, a film called Meanwhile, Hollywood North, The Statement, Spartacus in the TV series. He was 2 episodes of that in 2004, and that was the last thing he did. But he's just obviously a guy with an incredible storied history.
Zorba the Greek, of course. Basil and Zorba the Greek, classic. That's such a good film. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so he sort of brings that like kind of deep resonant
gravitas
drama actor performance to a thriller, and maybe that's something that really kind of sets the character and the performance apart a little bit, which I thought was pretty cool.
Spent 2 years in the RAF, which is like the military equivalent of a gap year.
Oh damn, son! World star. Réal Auger and Gilles Marcellet, the guys who killed Dubinin at the end, are actual Canadian police officers from Quebec.
Oh, that's fun.
Who, I did a bit of reading up. I don't know how they got into the film. I don't know what the story is. I don't even want to assume. But yeah, so they're actually like local police who just did a guest star, from guest role, credited, and just shot the fuck out of Dubinin in the woods, in the snow. Credited as Marine rescuer, Master Sergeant David Vasquez appears to be a real US Marine who then has done some more work. You want to win a war? Tell it to the Marines. You want to make a movie? Tell it to the Marines. I think, yeah. Question on the floor. Bridget Moynihan as Kathy. How do we rate her as holding up against the other Kathys Ryan?
It's weird, isn't it? We didn't get to see where it would go. Franchise from the reboot, right? So like the original Kathy Ryan is Kate McFadden, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Yeah.
Doing a fake accent, right?
Yeah.
Discount her. She was rubbish.
Damn, son!
Damn, bull, world star. Our main Kathy Ryan, for me, Anne Archer is the Kathy Ryan, okay, right? Because she was in 2 of the movies, which makes her like double the Kathy Ryan that all the others have done. And she is like age appropriate, I guess, for Jack Ryan in the movie. They have their kids. They've got their 2 kids. She's got her career as a doctor. She's well established. The person we're meeting at this stage as Kathy Mueller, I guess, is... I'll tell you what, the best comp is probably not Keira Knightley in Shadow Recruit, but the Kathy Mueller from the TV show.
Yeah, I found them quite similar.
Yeah.
And like kind of on the same level.
I got the impression from the TV show one that she came from like a position of privilege. She's already from like quite an influential family.
Yeah.
Because remember, he rocks up to that like massive garden party that her dad's throwing. Her dad's like wealthy and glad hanging people around Washington and stuff. This one, you don't see that.
And then they extract him with a fucking Black Hawk, and he's like, "I don't work for the State Department." It's like, now that's a reveal.
Yeah, that's a perfect goodbye. Yeah, I like her. I don't dislike her. I feel like Bridget Moynihan has been maybe slept on a little bit. I don't know what she was like to work with or anything. I don't know. I've not seen her have too much range. Obviously, you don't see her too much. You're shooting this. You're shooting John Wick for our movies. You've seen her in Kite Ugly. I've not seen her in like too much other stuff. I feel like there's potential here that she could have been really, really good. I wonder which actress kind of market corrected her out of the roles that she's got. Is it Megan Fox maybe? Has seen her off around this kind of time. Like she was in Lord of War. Actually, she was in iRobot, Battle of Los Angeles. So she's good.
Yeah,
I like her. I don't dislike her. How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
She's not my Jack Ryan, but then neither is Ben Affleck. He's not my Jack Ryan either. Yeah. So
is he your Batman though?
No. Like, get real. Adam West or nobody.
Adam West or nobody. West is best.
West is best. Kevin Conroy
which way
actually
West
is the best.
Man. Yeah.
Kevin Conroy in Batman Mask of the Phantasm is clearly the best Batman. That's only half joking about that.
Yeah. But going on, we've got, of course, Bruce McGill mentioned already.
Oh, Bruce McGill.
Brucey Mac. An absolute... Yes. An absolute... He's going to appear in so many films too, obviously. He's going to appear in a lot of stuff with Duke, because this guy seems to have... You know when someone looks like they should be in thriller films? That's clearly him. And, I mean, obviously, he's in...
Miami Vice.
Sorry,
Collateral.
Miami Vice, Collateral. He Michael Mann maxes, doesn't he? So, like... Yeah.
We talked about he's in Reach we talked about recently.
Yes.
Law-abiding citizen. My Cousin Vinny is the cop in My Cousin Vinny. Oh man, great. He's so in terms of thriller stuff recently. I mentioned Reach. He was in that Black Ops Lionesses thing. That's in Paramount.
Yeah, I saw that just now. Like he's in Lioness. Fucking hell.
Yeah. What else we got here?
He's in Vantage Point. Which is a film that I'd actually really like us to do at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I've added this to our big master list of films. He's in... oh my God, he was in... He did voice work for Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. Is that the second one or the first one?
Oh, I don't know.
That's the first one. That's the first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. Runaway Jury, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of good stuff here. Ali, so Michael Mann maxing again.
Yeah, there we go.
Legend of Bagger Vance, not
nice.
Robert Redford's best film.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, the game, I think.
Fucking hell.
Yes, it is.
Now we're going to go to the VHS in the mess test. A question in which the civilian of the team, the guy that the boys won in a card game, asks them, would this film show up well in a ship's mess, officer's mess, or a wardroom or whatever, or a barracks, stuck on a VHS in constant rotation? Would this be enjoyed by the ship's company or the service personnel of the unit or whatever? Would this go down well, and why?
Do you want to go first, Anya?
No, you go. Sorry.
Don't all fucking rush at once.
Yes, I think there's a resounding yes from me. Right, it's got it all. It's got a bit of clacker there in terms of Bridget Moynihan. That's enjoyable. They've got some fun banter. You've got the absolute see-off merchant that is Will Cabot. Very funny, good stuff. You've got Liev Schreiber doing the wet work stuff and some good. You've got some good gunfights. You've got the sequence with the Sea Whiz and the jets that we're going to rinse and take the piss out of in the wardroom. So that's good. That's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Young Ben Affleck, just being all young, dumb, and full of love for his country. Great stuff. Yeah, it would definitely play in the mess. It's not too weird. It's not super old. It's bang on, almost perfect. If that film had been made in 2009, for example, maybe that would have tipped it over and made it a constant rotation. But 2002, not too bad.
Yeah, cool. Sanya?
Yeah, not really. I think my main talking point would have been rinsing that attack scene as well, I think. Part of that, I mean, do your wardrooms still really get together and watch films?
Yeah, on deployment, not so much on like, you know, UK running kind of stuff. But if you're like at sea for a prolonged period, yeah, big time.
That's
Even during
nice.
taps and that, yeah.
Hey, it's getting a bit rare over here, sadly. Because we've in the last few years tapped heavily into getting Starlink to everyone, so people can stay in touch with their family and everything,
Yeah.
which is obviously fine, but a real detriment to wardroom culture.
Ruins movie night.
I suppose the other thing that happens as well, though, is that when I was on, I did 1, 2, 3 deployments in Cardigan Bay. I think one of them is a deployed battle staff, the other 2 is an embarked military force. On there, I was sharing a cabin with like an opposite number like the whole time. So if we weren't in the wardroom watching like movies, we'd like have a laptop and we'd watch stuff together in there. And there was a TV on board as well, which was plugged into like standard UK channels like BFBS and like the usuals. So on the run up to Christmas, we watched like a Channel 5 Christmas movie every single day for like 2 months. So we watched like at least one, probably 2. I watched something around 100 Christmas films of like the Hallmark variety, kind of stuff, like a very British Christmas, and like a Wish for Christmas, and Christmas Wish, 2 different films, and that kind of thing. So we did a lot of that. We also watched on one of my deployments, we watched the entirety of Star Trek: The Next Generation. We watched the film we did. We're going to do next week. Yeah, Sicario once. Yeah, we used to just watch movies with reckless abandon. At one point, we watched All the President's Men, which was a weird pull for 2 guys alone in a room to watch. But yeah, it happens. So yeah, if it's not the wardroom, it's somewhere else. I guess the real challenge nowadays is that a lot of people get single accommodation, don't they? The big mess deckers thing is not so much a thing anymore. But let's say on the forward mess of a hunt, you still got like a whole bunch of junior mates in there. Are they going to watch this movie? Maybe. I guess. I don't know if it's the same for the German Navy. Broadly speaking, in the Royal Navy, the junior rates are pretty young. They're like sort of 18 to 25.
Yeah.
And then the senior rates and officers are a bit older. The junior officers are like in their maybe mid-20s to 30s. People like myself, obviously Gustin 40 this year, bad times. And the senior rates, again, mid-30s to 40s. And I think we're the people who will watch it. So, yeah, that's the only me in that. Definitely.
The question is, will the kids still watch this because at this point it's older than the kids?
It's weird, isn't it? Because Ben Affleck is still out and about, isn't he?
Yeah, but on the other hand, like it's there's a fair chance it's not fast paced enough for the young'uns to enjoy it really.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning. This is like a 90s movie still, isn't it? Yeah. Now, some 90s movies, because they are from the 90s, I think still get like a lot of play. Like I think you could plonk Armageddon on. And I think those kids would be like, "Oh, I watched this when I was tiny, and like it." There's some stuff.
Hey kids, this film is as old as me. Hey people, were there cars when you were younger?
Well, yeah, man. This is the weird thing. So, like, this movie came out, and I was 16. I looked at this. I was working at a garden centre, and Bruce Springsteen's The Rising was just about to come out. I remember this like it was yesterday. So if I was 16, Rory, you must have been like 18, 19.
Yeah, I am broadly in agreement that this film would definitely go down well in the wardroom of the ship that I'm not on. Agreed. Moving on to a rapid fire one. Haven't mentioned he is spin-off surprise. One of the characters from this film, you've got to fucking pitch me a spin-off TV series for them right now, and what's it going to be? And it can't be Jack Ryan.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
Spin-off TV series. Right, okay.
Spin that shit off. It can be any kind of channel. It can be like one of the streamers, like Netflix or Amazon or whatimeisit.rightnow.com, or it can be like a low budget shit thing on Channel 5. It can be ITV, whatever.
Okay, I'm just picking a good person for this.
I'm sorry, the one I'm going to go with is it's going to be on one of the big streamers, Foley. It's a show about Mary Pat Foley as she is at the time of this, pregnant and sick of people's shit, which also has multiple flashbacks to when she was working as a field agent in Moscow during the whole Cardinal of Kremlin kind of thing. And she's like hunting down secrets and like final loose ends from a period in Moscow in the 80s. And Spinnaker is a guest star in it multiple times, all connected.
Oh, that's
that
really
would
cool.
Rule, right? That
That's
would
really
actually
good.
go hard. That would bang, right?
That's so good. Yeah. Okay, right. I'm gonna pitch you a Comedy Central multi-camera workplace comedy.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
Workplace comedy. Okay. Set. It's gonna be called. God, what's it gonna be called? I don't know. Must Go, and it's going to be based, and it's set on the Russia desk, in the CIA, or it'll just be called like a lack of intelligence or something, and
I like that.
and it's based around Dale Goldbaldo's character Rudy, who's like his guy with the dreads who works in the office.
Yeah, Rudy.
Yeah, and it's going to be basically like pop from Community, and all the funny stuff they go along with, and then like. Mary Pat Foley is like the Michael Scott of The Office, right? And Dale Gabaldo is like, he's going to be like the Dwight, and then and then Jack Ryan is like the Jim Halpert, and he's played by John Krasinski.
Yes, I love that you've got John Krasinski playing Jack Ryan again. Fucking amazing. I love Central Funtelligence. Bang.
Central Funtelligence.
Crowdfunded.
This fall on Comedy Central.
Fucking love it. Sandy, if you got a pitch for us?
So either as like Prime Video thriller-ish spin-off just on Spinnaker doing his thing in Moscow, which could like turn increasingly paranoid towards the end, or you could just get really weird and do a sort of government trying to re-establish Baltimore thing.
Wow, yeah.
Cool. Holy shit, that's really fucking
It's
cool.
like a sort of government agency construction vibe, Baltimore. We've got and like the season finale of like after 3 seasons is just another football match happening where the old stadium used to be.
I thought you were like it's written by David Simon.
Yes, David Simon, of course. Amazing scenes.
Yeah, and it's all about like local business owners just trying to pick up the pieces, and we follow one guy, string a bell.
That's actually
it has
class,
Simon Pegg as the distraught mayor of Baltimore.
That's some actual fucking really good stunt casting there. I dig that. That's fucking brilliant, man. That's excellent. I love that shit.
Aidan Gillen.
Wow, that was
yeah.
Fun. Thank you, lads, for kind of humouring my random, surprising, out of left field category there.
I had another idea.
Yep,
which is it's a right. This is a bit experimental. It's a silent comedy about John Clark, and every day John Clark gets up and travels into his office to do his desk job, and then he gets caught on like a Mr. Bean style wacky adventure, which involves him having to murder several people before he and then trying to get on with his day.
That's amazing. That's so freaking good. And he's just like Liev Schreiber's probably like mugging for the camera, like black and white silent comedy kind of thing.
And he's like Mr. Bean, so he can do like make the odd noise, but he can't like talk.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's just like stabbing the fuck out of someone. Like,
and then like the body starts bleeding. He's like, oh no, what am I going to do? And he falls over in the blood, and he's like trying to clean up the body. And like the body, and he's putting the body in the chair, and he keeps slumping in the chair. And he puts it back in the chair, and it slumps in the chair.
Yeah, and then Bill Capper just comes in and takes his fucking wallet off him and walks out.
Oh, he's like the boss. He's like the boss. He's like.
Let's go to the oversell of the military-industrial complex. Which part of this film had the grandest, grossest, most ridiculous, ludicrous oversell of the MI6, of how military shit and espionage shit in general works?
I think, for me, it's on the evening of the blast in Baltimore, while the initial damage assessment is probably still happening. The initial, like, military aid to civilian authorities to, like, open streets and put out fires and find survivors and all that kind of stuff's happening. There's guys working in a tent, pretty much like adjacent to Ground Zero.
Yeah.
Talking to Jack Ryan, saying we've determined exactly which bit of uranium this is that set off this bomb, and it's made in America. I think that's ridiculous. Like, that would happen. I mean, don't be wrong, people would be put to task on it, but it's not priority one in the city of Baltimore at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like weeks to months, right? It's like weeks to months before they figure that out, kind of thing. You know,
Feels like it, yeah. It
yeah.
feels like the inquiry into it. I mean, the military response to it is the bigger kind of quandary they're dealing with right now, and they haven't got time to figure out that kind of stuff. Like, you know, again, bring it back, a nuclear war scenario. Like, this was a different situation because they haven't detected a launch. But the next thing that's going to be happening is, now that something has been detonated on US soil, is that everyone's spinning up response plans, which is exactly what happens in the film. The expenditure of workforce on doing forensic fact-finding on it, you wouldn't send people unnecessarily into the city.
Yeah.
Who didn't need to be there and then. So I'm sure there'd be some kind of data collection, but there wouldn't be any data analysis and then actionable intelligence being generated from it there and then, I don't think. At that speed. I just don't think that's happening.
I think you're pretty spot on there, man. Yeah. Sanya, what do you think? What's the biggest oversell in this film?
I mean, when it comes to military stuff, our biggest issue we've discussed so far has been an undersell.
Yeah.
To be fair, so I'm fairly blank on that one for once.
That's absolutely fair. I'm not going to ask how this would go down in Germany. At all. At all. That question is not going to exist. That question's stricken from the record, Your Honour. Jack Ryan's shopping list, the humanizing part of the film, the mundane part of real life that shows these super spies and badasses are just normal people. What part in this film, Mike, because you are the father of this particular category, Indeed. What part of this film, what moment humanizes those involved the most?
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking about all the times that Will Cabot saw him off. For me, I think it's when Jack Ryan turns up to the office, having been paged, and he's wearing like he's wearing like a shirt, some chinos with some deck shoes and like a jacket, and Will Cabot looks at him and goes, "What is this, a paper chase?" Because he was like a college student working on his part-time job. I think that maybe is it. Or it's the stupid picnic he's having at the end with his girlfriend with the portable television, like feet away from the White House lawn. Yeah, there's not a lot of humanizing besides that, really.
Sanya?
I've got nothing.
I like that one particular defense advisor struggling and freaking out because he couldn't open up the deck chair.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. And I think a great bit of I like just the weird energy of Kathy Mueller just grabbing Jack Ryan's dick when he's on the phone to his superior. Again, I think that's the thing I could imagine happening. Trivia. I just pulled a few bits of trivia that I quite enjoyed just from IMDb. So the spray can that John Clark uses to cut through the chain link fence is supposed to be a real-life CIA chemical spray known as ice piss. Once again, that's ice piss. When asked if a real can of ice piss could be acquired for the scene, the technical advisor said, quote, "I don't want to go to prison, !" End quote.
Oh, that's real.
During the opening, a nuclear bomb was shown being rolled out to be loaded onto an Israeli A4 Skyhawk. However, the bomb designed for the scene could not be physically carried by the A4, so the subsequent scene of the plane had to have a CGI bomb attached in post-production. You see, Michael Mann, for true veracity, would have put a real fucking atom bomb on the Skyhawk. Michael Mann's not doing anything in goddamn post. "No, we are dropping this bomb for real, man," said Mr. Mann. California property master Russell Bobbitt also played the Israeli pilot in the opening scene. The prop picture in his fighter plane is that of real-life daughter Jordan Lynn and was chosen before he was cast as the pilot. Can we pick this apart for a second? Because that's weird, right?
What?
So, like, were members of the cast asked to provide pictures of their family that might appear in the film? And then they went, "Oh, actually, we'll have you as the pilot as well."
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can imagine it happened was they went round like the property master's gaff or whatever, or like they just said, "Can you open your wallet and give me whatever photos in there?" And he gets the one of like his his daughter, and as he's handing it to like the director, he like reaches back out for it and grabs it, and the director's like, "I want this guy in that fucking plane."
Yeah.
Because he's got this instinctive tick when he reaches for the photo constantly.
Yeah.
And that's why he takes his eyes off the ball. That's why this whole thing happens.
He's in the character. That guy's in the character.
He's
going to sell the shit out of the scene.
And he really...
I really believe that he's that guy's that kid's dad. I really believe it.
I really believe it. And yeah, just as you mentioned, but in the scene at the beginning, Jack Ryan, Mary Portfolio talking about Elena Ryzhkov, Garlington played Dr. Elena Ryzhkov, who was working with Dr. Gunter Yanek in Sneakers. So just a kind of little hey wink to the audience there. The Columbo question: would this film benefit from Peter Falk playing a scrungly, weird little guy?
Yes, he would be the president.
God, could you imagine?
Or he'd be one of the president's aides. Like he'd be like, or like, you know, the cabal of senior cabinet members.
An atomic weapons scientist, and he's the one who tells them where the uranium came from.
Oh, and it takes like 5 minutes. Cool.
It takes like 5 minutes because he's like, he looks at a comically long dot matrix printout, and he's like, "Yep, it's ours."
And he explains the process.
That's actually from a batch I made when I was young.
Okay, when I went to the part of the night when I do notes from the peanut gallery, when I find reviews on Letterboxd that I find funny, 1 star. Ben Affleck plays an annoying smart arse who I couldn't care less for. I would rather dry hump a cheese grater while eating one of those filthy cardboard pizzas you get from a kebab house than watch this film. Can't ever see myself rewatching. Not my cup of tea.
Oh, you think?
Plot and acting was horrible. I can't believe Netflix would suggest this. Oof, shots fucking fired. Breadwinner number 1 says 1 star, didn't understand the entire movie.
Wow.
1 star, someone called Bila says, my dad made me watch it. 2.5 stars from Catherine Kruger. Low-key, my fave minor part was that Ben Affleck finds it charming, or at least bemusing, that the CIA is very closely spying on him, a member of the outfit. It's like, fair one, actually. Watching this after a Le Carre film is so funny. Nuclear-grade poppycock. Really good scene in this where Affleck's ride has just crashed his car in post-Fallout Baltimore and is furiously typing on his stylus phone, asking where warheads stolen in 1968 are. I like that. Stylus phone, I love it. Someone called Lucas says, 4 stars, watch this with David, and I said during the tense climax, fuck, this is really good, and he told me to calm down. 4 stars. I like Ben Affleck, brackets, yes, really. I like Morgan Freeman, brackets, duh. I like CIA spy flicks. I like Jack Ryan. I like this film. Enough said.
The twist. I thought it was going to be a twist.
Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be kind of like the hardest in the first half, not gonna lie thing, when it's like, you know, I like Ben Affleck, yes, really. I like Morgan Freeman, duh. I have evidence that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton. That kind of thing.
You are Umar Bakshi, leader of Hezbollah.
You're Umar Bakshi! 4 stars. My mom kept spoiling me accidentally, so I'm taking 1 star off. It would have been more, but my dad's enthusiasm made up for it. Heart emoji. I love my parents, undoubtedly the source of my fondness for intrigue. They made this watch so much better, from someone called Regina, 4 stars. That's so insanely wholesome. I love that. That is absolutely mint. 5 stars. Alex Vierhoff says, I am now forever suspicious of vending machines. Mood.
I just remember that fight he has with the guy with the chains and the big tool.
Yes! Yes, that's mint!
And the police come and they're like, are you Jack Ryan? We gotta help you.
Are you Jack Ryan? Are you Jack Ryan?
And he's like, we gotta help you.
Yeah.
Do you want us to strangle him for you?
Yeah, we got this.
Brutalizing a member of public. Do you want us to help?
We got this. Then they get him like a fucking illegal LAPD chokehold and just like...
Yeah. Stop resisting.
That's pretty much us out.
I have one final category. Is this film pro or anti-CIA? And finally, after months and months, we have a film that is unequivocally pro-CIA.
Unequivocally pro.
So the scores now are settled at 9-4. They're making a comeback. They're making a rush.
Yeah. However, let's talk about the next film that we're doing. Because
I don't think that little spurt is going to last. Because yes, we've come to the end of this episode of Clear and Present Dudes. Please join us again in 2 weeks' time, where our next episode will be 2013 Denis Villeneuve film Sicario, starring Emily Blunt and Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. Thank you very much, Rory, for those categories. Did a sterling job.
Yeah,
and thank you very much for joining me this evening, Rory and Sanye. I've been Mike. We have been Clear and Present Dudes. Please look us up on Instagram at Clear and Present Dudes. Email us for any hot takes at clearandpresentdudes@gmail.com. Yeah, catch us on the flip side, I guess.
Yeah, and join the Discord as well, because it's quiet in there at the moment.
It is, and we should encourage that. Yeah, join the Discord. Link on my Threads account, which is at MikeD2049. Cool. Rory, anything else?
That's it. So, as usual, as it is every 2 weeks, we've been Clear and Present Dudes.
Dudes.
Fucking hell, we got worse at this.